Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. My New Year's resolution was to finally film and edit this video. I started filming this video last April, so almost a year ago. And then once I finally started editing, I had deleted the audio. So we're back. If you couldn't tell by the pictures on the wall, we are doing a wildly unhinged recap of Yellowjackets season 1. Who is this video for? It's for people who have never seen the show, or for people who have seen the show, but they've kind of forgotten what happened back in season 1, and they want to see how that compares to what we now know after watching seasons 2 and 3. Now, there are two timelines in the show. We have the teen timeline and the adult timeline, and I'm basically going to be breaking this up the way that the show does, and if things are happening simultaneously in both timelines, I'll let you know. I'm going to try to keep my personal bias of like my favorites and my least favorites out of this and just give you the facts and the vibes of the different scenes. I've been keeping this stick in my pantry since April. Okay, episode 1. We open on a girl running through a snowy forest. There are symbols on the trees. She's barefoot, wearing like a thin yellow dress in the winter. We hear animals close by. Wait, no, those aren't animals. Those are animalistic human noises. She runs, sobbing, gasping for breath when finally the ground beneath her feet gives way and she falls into a pit. Bloody footprints lead to her body, impaled by 20 spikes at the bottom of the pit. Filled with sharpened spikes, hidden under snow and ground, this pit is obviously human-made. We don't know who this girl is. We can't see anything about her except she's wearing a heart necklace. So who is Pit Girl? Is she whoever has this necklace? A human person wearing furs and wraps on their face looks into the pit down at the impaled girl. Now, some context. A journalist is interviewing people about these girls who went missing in a plane crash. No one knows what happened out there except that it was a tragedy. Those girls were special. They were champions. In 1996, we meet the Yellowjackets soccer team. They're in a high-stakes game, but through some incredible teamwork, they've won the game. They're going to nationals. The first girl we meet is Jackie. Jackie is dating some guy named Jeff, but he can't get her off, so she fakes it so that they won't be late to school. He says he loves her, but she does not say it back. Jackie is wearing the heart necklace. Suspect number 1 for Pit Girl. Next, we see Shauna Shipman. She is sitting in a car outside of Jackie's house. She sees Jeff leave through Jackie's window and she is visibly annoyed by this. Shauna is driving Jackie to school and she asks her about Jeff. Jackie says she doesn't want to show up to college a virgin, and then we learn some things about their relationship. Jackie and Shauna are best friends. They're on the soccer team together, and they're going to college together at Brown University. Jackie has been dating Jeff since freshman year, so she thinks he's a virgin too because they've never had sex. But Shauna doesn't seem convinced about this. Now we cut to present day, 2021. An adult woman is jerking off in her daughter's room. In her daughter's bed, to a picture of her daughter's teenage boyfriend. We learn that this woman is Shauna Shipman when later that day, reporter Jessica Roberts knocks on her door. She says she just wants 5 minutes to help Shauna tell her story and offers her a 7-figure book deal advance. They're really just giving book deals to anyone these days. The plane crashed, a bunch of my friends died, and the rest of us starved and scavenged and prayed for 19 months until they found us, is all Shauna will say. Although Jessica says others were interested in the same book deal, Shauna is confident that no one else would talk about what happened out there, even though she hasn't spoken to any of the people she crashed with in years. The next character we meet is Natalie, who is meditating at some kind of facility. We see a quick flashback to the wilderness of Pit Girl being dragged through the snow and strung up on a tree to bleed out. Multiple other fur-covered figures watch as one of them slits her throat with practiced precision to bleed her out like an animal. We learn that Natalie is in group therapy. It's her last day at rehab. Go girl. For her final message to the group, she shares that everyone must find a purpose. She admits to the group that her problems with drugs and drinking and sex weren't because of her time out in the wild. They were because after she was rescued, She lost her purpose. Now, back in 1996, we see teen Natalie. Oh my gosh. She's got the bleached hair, the shag cut, the leather jacket. She is so cool. She's drinking outside when some guys drive by and catcall her, and then she throws her bottle of alcohol at their car. Later that day, there's a pep rally to celebrate the girls' soccer team making it to nationals, and the whole team is getting ready in the locker room. They're singing, they're dancing, they're getting hyped up. Now, Jackie is comforting a younger player named Allie, who is nervous for the pep rally. Jackie is the team captain. She has influence. She can guide the girls when things get tough, according to her coach. The most important things that happen at the pep rally is that Misty is just over the top excited from the sidelines because she's not actually on the team, and Shauna is making eyes at Jackie. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. The next adult we meet is Thaisa Turner. She is running for state senator. She's married to her wife, Simone, and they have one child, Sammy, and a dog named Biscuit. Oh, it's so cute. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Now, her campaign is struggling because there are nasty stories being spread about the girls, presumably from their time in the wilderness. Back in the teen timeline, after the pep rally, Teen Ty is trying to get the girls on board about Allie, the girl who was nervous for the pep rally. So she thinks Allie's gonna ruin their chances of winning nationals. So Ty wants everyone to keep the ball from her. Natalie's against the plan. She thinks they should play like a team. Ty dismisses her, saying she's drunk, and Natalie storms off. Now, Lottie is also against the plan, but Shauna's for it. But she says Jackie, the captain, won't like it. They go to practice where assistant coach Ben and Misty are running the practice. Laura Lee makes everyone say a prayer before they begin their scrimmage against the JV team, and no one else is really into it, but they go along with it. Now, instead of playing with the varsity team, Ty switches to the JV team so that she can play against Allie, and she's going hard on her. She's bumping into her, really staying on her, trying to make her play better, but she slides into her and breaks her leg. The bone is sticking out and I can't even look. Misty jumps in to help and do like first aid, but the girls tell her to back off and go get help from a professional. Now everyone is freaking out, but Ty doesn't seem upset by what she did. She just kind of seems intrigued. Jackie attempts a pep talk in the locker room, but tensions are just really high. And the girls blame Ty for Allie's injury, and now they're not going to have a complete team for nationals. Adult Shauna is at home with her teenage daughter, Callie. Callie's on the phone, but Shauna's trying to talk to her anyway. We learn that Callie's dad, Shauna's husband, is working late again. Callie gives her mom a knowing, pitiful look when she says this, so we can assume that he's cheating. Now again, Callie is a teenager on a Friday night, so she's going out with her boyfriend Kyle. Kyle walks in and fist bumps Shauna, and don't forget that she was literally getting off to his picture this morning. Don't forget that, okay? That's important. Shauna did that. Teen Jackie and teen Shauna are getting ready for a party. Jackie's boyfriend Jeff has a best friend named Randy who has been asking about Shauna. Okay. Shauna is offended that Jackie would try to set her up with Randy. She doesn't want to hook up with Randy, okay? I would say that the vibe of this scene is that Shauna feels bossed around by Jackie, telling her to hook up with and what to wear to the party. But Jackie immediately apologizes, explaining that she didn't intend it that way. She just wants to help and thought that Shauna would want to know that Randy was asking about her. Now at the party, the team isn't hanging out together. They're all in like different friend groups. Shauna is off to the side watching while Jackie dances with Jeff. Looking sad, I have to say. Big doe eyes filled with sadness. So reasonably, she decides to pick a fight with Ty over the keg. She wants Ty to admit she crippled Allie on purpose during the scrimmage. The rest of the team starts to gather around them, and when the fight gets physical, Jackie steps in. She lines them up away from the party. They have nationals tomorrow, but they're not acting like a team. Jackie wants them to say nice, true things about each other. Jackie starts and she goes down the line. Thaisa has fight in her. She is inspired by her determination. Van has a happy smile. She admires Laura-Lee's faith. Natalie doesn't care what anybody thinks, and she is completely herself. Then Natalie says that Lottie never talks shit about someone unless they really deserve it. And following her lead, Shauna apologizes to Ty, who says she didn't mean to hurt Allie. Jackie tells Shauna she has always been there for her and she is the best friend she's ever had. So sweet. By the end of the party, Natalie is really high and she starts tripping out and sees Misty across the street staring at her, but she's not really there. Flashback to the wilderness, we see a figure with deer antlers as a crown and fabric covering their face. Let's call them Antler Queen. Antler Queen is surrounded by the fur-covered faces, so we can't see anyone's face, but they're looking out over a fire too. Now, after the party, Jeff drives Shauna and Jackie home, but they drop Jackie off first because of her curfew. But once they drive off, Shauna has Jeff pull the car over. They start hooking up. Jeff says he thought they weren't doing this again. Now we know why Shauna didn't think that Jeff was a virgin. So is Shauna in love with Jackie or jealous of her? Remember, Jackie has no idea that her boyfriend is cheating on her with her best friend behind her back. Also, they don't have a condom, and Shauna wants to hear Jeff say he loves her during it. He doesn't have to mean it, she just needs to hear it, which could mean nothing. Adult Shauna is in her garden. A rabbit has been eating her plants. She picks up a garden tool and kills the rabbit. There's no emotion in her face, so we don't know if she's upset, excited, or what. Inside the house, we see some family photos. Shauna is married to Jeff, who was dating her best friend and she was hooking up with when they were teenagers. Jeff is Callie's dad. The plot thickens. Guess it didn't work out with Jackie. Wonder why. In Shauna's closet, there is a safe. She opens it, grabs a flip phone out, and calls someone. We need to talk. The teens are packing for the big day, and we learned some things about their home lives. Natalie lives in a trailer. Laura-Lee, she's very religious. She's praying. Jackie is nervous. Lottie is taking pills with breakfast that a maid gives her. Van's mom is passed out, so she can't say goodbye before she leaves. And Misty is watching a rat drown in her pool. Ty kisses her parents goodbye. The head coach is forcing his two sons, Travis and Javi, to come on this trip with him. And Shauna got her acceptance letter from Brown, but she seems unhappy about it. They are taking a private plane to nationals, courtesy of Lottie's rich dad, and everyone is super excited. On the plane, Mari befriends the JV girl, Akila, who is Allie's replacement since her leg is broken. So because Akila isn't on varsity, she's on junior varsity, she doesn't know any of these girls. She wasn't even supposed to be there. In typical older brother fashion, Travis won't let Javi sit with him on the plane. And Shauna is really nervous for the flight. Over the radio, we hear that there's a storm coming in over the Canadian Rockies, which is where they'll be traveling. Jackie notices her nerves and gives Shauna some Valium she stole from her mom and her gold necklace as a good luck charm. Shauna is pick girl. And Shauna knocks out from the Valium as they take off. Turns out adult Shauna was on the phone with adult Ty, and they met up to talk in person at a diner. Shauna tells her about the reporter that visited her. Apparently, she did some digging, and there's no record of a Jessica Roberts at the paper she claimed to work at. They had all agreed to not tell anyone what happened out there. If someone's digging, they're all fucked. They know that Natalie's in rehab, but there's been no sign of the others. How do they know that Natalie's in rehab, and why are the others in hiding? Well, actually, Natalie is not in rehab. She just got out, took a red-eye flight out of LAX, and is back in town. She's at a storage locker, getting a car, a shotgun. She's back to connect with some old friends. In the wilderness, meat is being served to the Antler Queen, presumably the girl from the pit that they've been preparing. Antler Queen gives a nod, and the others take this as a signal to start eating. She seems to be their leader, the one in charge. change. Finally, we're introduced to adult Misty, who's working as a nurse. One of her elderly patients had an accident and angrily dumped her food on the floor. So, in retaliation, Misty took away her morphine. "Don't fuck with me," she says. Natalie is watching from a distance as Misty walks out to her car after work. Flashback to the wilderness. The animal hood comes off one of the figures, and a young, smiling Misty is revealed. They're eating Pit Girl, but Pit Girl, the fur-covered figures, and Antler Queen are the Yellowjackets. We see Shauna reading a diary she kept from her time in the wilderness. We hear a girl screaming in the background, and young Shauna comes to as the plane is crashing down. End episode 1. Now, I don't know about you guys, but here are some questions that I have. Who are the rest of the fur-covered figures? Who is Pit Girl? Who is Antler Queen? What happened in the wilderness? Why won't any of the adults talk about it? Why is it such a big secret? What did we just witness? A hunt? A ritual? How did this come to be? And why did Shauna marry Jeff? And is he cheating on her like he cheated on Jackie? Episode 2, F sharp. Chaos. Some people are wearing oxygen masks. Some people are flying around the plane. The trees are right outside the window, so they are rapidly descending. We actually cut to an even younger teen Misty getting a prank call, so we don't see the actual crash, but the plane is down. Some girls are already dead. Impaled, burned. Misty breaks down the plane door with Ty's help, and they get out of the burning, crashed plane. Jackie is trying to wake up Shauna and get her out, and Van is stuck at the back of the plane. Her seatbelt won't unhook, and the fire is spreading. At this point, Shauna is like kind of awake, and she stumbles to the back of the plane to try and help Van, but Jackie sees that they can't and chooses to drag Shauna out, leaving Van but saving the two of them. They're in the wilderness, like middle of nowhere, nothing but trees and mountains wilderness. There's debris, fire, blood screaming all around them. Ty is looking for Van. Misty is looking for Coach Scott. And she finds him on the ground, but his leg is fully trapped under part of the plane. With some help from some of the other girls, they moved the piece of the plane off, but his leg is severely damaged. He passes out. Mari throws up. Van also somehow managed to escape the plane, and she is pissed at Jackie for leaving her to die. Misty finds an axe and without any warning chops off Coach Ben's leg. With a blood-splattered face, she ties up the wound. Back in 2021, adult Misty is going on a date. It's not going well, and they literally haven't even ordered food yet. We get a quick flashback to the crash, where young Misty is ordering everyone on how to help with wounds, and she seems to be really happy doing this. Like, after seeing the prank call, we know that she gets bullied, but now she finally feels appreciated and useful. People are listening to her, grateful to her. She has Red Cross babysitters training and is totally qualified for this. She pours alcohol on Ben's wound and he wakes up, but he hasn't noticed he's missing a leg yet. And she wants to tell him that she amputated it. She thinks he's gonna be so grateful. But Ty stops her, thinking it might be a little too much right now. Okay, sorry, the lighting changed. The sun is setting too much. Adult Shauna has just rear-ended a cute guy named Adam. She comes out swinging even though it was literally her fault. But he's so nice and flirty, and he doesn't even want to get insurance involved because his car is okay. It was her car that took the worst of it. He has a friend at a body shop who owes him a favor and will fix her car for her. Before leaving, they write their numbers on each other's arms. That is meet cute if I've ever seen one. But don't forget, Shauna is married, and her and Jeff are in couples therapy. It seems like Shauna hates her life, and it's Jeff and Callie's fault. Callie is a brat, and Jeff is lying about his work so he can go have an affair, allegedly. And what does Shauna have? Nothing. Misty is getting dropped off at home by her date because her car wouldn't start. That's literally so crazy. This isn't super important, but she also has a pet bird named Caligula. She manipulates her date a bit to get him to go inside with her, but Natalie is already inside waiting with a gun. "You crazy fucking bitch," Nat says, but Misty is just excited to see her friend. Natalie received a postcard with the symbol of the wilderness on it, and she thinks it's from Misty. But Misty got one too. a week ago. Turns out Misty tried to track it, but it was bought and sent from an app, so there was no way to track it. The two of them go to a bar to share theories about who could have sent this. Misty is a citizen detective, so she is very qualified for this. Misty tells Natalie that she found Travis, even though he did not want to be found. Can we assume that Travis is another adult survivor? In summary, Nat thinks the postcards are a threat, and also Kevin Tan, her friend from high school, sees the two of them at the bar and gives them his detective card. Adult Ty is home after missing a parent-teacher conference. Her son has this doll named Manny. He's having a hard time making friends and he's acting a little strange. Also, Jeff and Shauna's therapist told them to try sharing fantasies, and Jeff is down, but Shauna's not really into it, and instead she tells him about the car accident. He's upset that she waited this long to tell him and kept this a secret from him. So he leaves. Fantasies are not being shared. Okay, in the aftermath of the plane crash, Javi is alive and looking for his dad. Ty sends Nat to find Travis to help. But we learned from Travis that his dad, the coach, was trying to help the girls put on their oxygen masks and flew out of the plane. So Travis is refusing to help his brother look. Laura Lee finds her teddy bear, but blood drips on it. Ooh, whose blood? The coach's. He is impaled by a branch up in a tree. Unfortunately, Javi sees this. And Travis sees it too and immediately starts trying to climb up the giant tree. Misty, quick on her feet, thinker that she is, grabs blankets so that if either of them fall, hopefully they can catch them with the blankets. Travis makes it up to the tree, but the branch breaks and his dad falls out of the tree. For sure dead now. Also, this symbol is carved into the tree already. The girls just got there. Ty's son, Sammy, wants her to read to him, but then he changes his mind because he's sick of reading. He doesn't want to go to the park either, and then he starts acting weird. So instead they do some shadow puppets on the wall. When Ty does a wolf, a real wolf flashes in her mind. She opens the window and sees some of Sammy's drawings covering up the window. So she can't see me. Who? The lady in the tree. She watches me at night. Sammy, what lady is in the tree watching you at night? And Ty, why don't you know about this? Okay, so that's creepy. Can't even blame Sammy for acting weird. That is traumatizing. Anyway, Adam calls Shauna because, they wrote their numbers on each other's arms. And it turns out that he was the guy who works at the car place, not his friend, so he knows that she never brought her car in. He also asks her out to dinner, but she says she can't, to which he responds, "You seem like someone who doesn't play by the rules, Shauna." Adam, what? Shauna sees another rabbit in her garden, only this time she grabs a butcher knife to kill it. In her kitchen, she begins dissecting the rabbit. She does not seem grossed out. This was her choice to do this. How does she know how to skin and prep a rabbit? Adult Natalie, drunk, calls adult Travis, and he answers, but he tells her it's the wrong number. He doesn't want anything to do with these girls. The verdict is in, and Shauna's family thinks the chili is really good tonight. She tells them it's a new recipe with rabbit meat. They think she's lying, but we know she's not. The girls leave the crash site after a long and horrible day. Natalie gives Travis a flask. They start a fire and they line up all the dead bodies. Lottie finds her bag and she only has 6 pills left. The rest of the girls are concerned about the food supply. Shauna, the optimist, thinks they'll be rescued by morning, so it doesn't even matter. But Jackie thinks they should conserve food just in case. Also important to note that as she says this, Van is eating food. Around the fire, Laura Lee shares that the crash was actually her fault. Yeah, because she called her piano teacher a bad word in her head. Lottie admits to stealing clothes from TJ Maxx, returning them, and getting thousands of dollars in store credit. And then the girls all start sharing things that they do. Misty gets up, gets a shovel, lights it in the fire, and burns Coach Ben's wound, his leg, to stop his bleeding from where she amputated his leg. He's freaking out because not only does he now know that he doesn't have a leg, but that it was Misty, the high school weirdo, who made the decision to chop it off. but she feels like a hero for saving his life. By the fire, Jackie asks Shauna if she has any secrets big enough to crash a plane. We know she does. Now, adult Shauna and Jeff are trying the role play thing again, but she's in charge this time. She seems to have a spark back inside of her. She's killing rabbits and taking control of her life. Afterwards, Jeff goes to take a shower and his phone buzzes. Shauna looks. It's Bianca. Bianca's telling him to meet at the usual place tomorrow, 4 p.m. Don't be late. Poor Shauna. He's cheating. This is her confirmation that he's cheating. Now, in the wilderness, the girls are sleeping around a fire, except Misty. She quietly gets back up and walks through the trees to go to the bathroom. She overhears Van and Laura Lee talking about how grateful they are that Misty is there with them with all of her survival skills. Misty also notices the transmitter box of the plane. It's okay, it's in good condition, and it's probably sending out their location right now. They will be rescued. Misty slowly picks up the box. A quick flash to adult Natalie, who is staying at a motel, and she gets into her car, but it won't start. Misty pulls up beside her. How lucky. Misty knows that Nat was going to see Travis, but she's off today and tomorrow, so she's perfectly free to take a road trip. Misty happily lets Natalie drive her working car. Natalie notices that Misty brought 2 coffees, almost as if she was planning this. Young Misty takes the transmitter box and smashes it on a giant rock over and over until she rips the cords out and it turns off for good. She smiles, proud of herself. End of episode 2. Some questions that I have. Is Misty Quigley clinically insane? What will happen when Lottie runs out of pills? Who is the lady in the tree that watches Sammy while he sleeps, and is he okay? How will Travis and Javi deal with the death of their dad? Will Van ever forgive Jackie? What's going on with Shauna and Adam? And who sent the postcards? I just had to turn the overhead lights on that are literally never on. I'm scared. Okay, episode 3, the dollhouse. So the girls have buried the bodies of the dead, having their version of a funeral and saying nice things about everyone. Laura Lee tells everyone to join hands and pray for them. Now, during this, Ty has a flashback. Her grandma was bedridden in her house. Dying is nothing to be afraid of, she says. Back at the camp, Ty is visibly upset and leaves the group. Now, present-day Ty sees a campaign ad construing her as a cannibal, and she gets upset. Her wife calms her down, and then Sammy comes out with his dog Biscuit, and Ty says she'll take both of them to the park because it's the weekend. Jeff and Shauna are at home. Jeff makes a joke about having sex again, but Shauna laughs and shuts that down. She has devised a plot to catch him cheating. She tells him she's taking the van in to get fixed and needs him to pick her up at 4, but he hesitates. Now we know that he's supposed to be meeting Bianca at 4. But he can't tell Shauna that. So instead, he just uses the age-old, tired excuse that he's working late. Specifically, he's getting a shipment of furniture. He owns a furniture store. Now, meanwhile, Misty and Natalie are on their little road trip. Misty's telling her about her many bad dates and forcing her to listen to Cats the musical. Is Misty me? Natalie pulls over at a gas station and says she's gonna get gas, and she strongly suggests that Misty go inside to get snacks. While Misty goes inside, Natalie looks around the car and finds her battery cable that Misty cut out of Natalie's car. Misty cut her car's battery cable so that her car wouldn't work and they'd go on a road trip together. Now, instead of confronting Misty about this, Natalie doesn't say anything, and they're back on the road. Back at the crash site, everyone is sharing water and eating snacks. Jackie has contracted poison ivy, and she says, if poison ivy is what kills me out here, I deserve to die. Travis is pretty standoffish from the group. I mean, he's not on the team. His dad forced him to come on this trip, and now his dad is dead. So he just comes, grabs a snack, and then goes to his own little area. Lottie gets upset because they're supposed to be rationing snacks, and she says, who died and made him king of snacks? To which Natalie replies, his dad, Lottie. As team captain, Jackie is certain that they'll be rescued, and she's trying to lift everyone's spirits, but they've already been out here for 3 days now. Now, the snacks that Travis stole were actually for Javi. Oh, that is so sweet. Remember, Travis is in the same grade as these girls, but Javi is a lot younger than them. And neither of them were involved with the soccer team. They were just forced to go on this trip by their dad, who is now dead. Now, Misty is trying to feed and nurse Coach Ben, but he is just like not hungry. Lottie gets her pills, takes the last one. So Lottie is officially out of pills. We don't know what they're for, but they're gone now. So earlier during the funeral, when Ty left, she actually walked around and found a lake that's about 4 or 5 miles away. And she thinks they should leave the crash site and go set up camp at the lake. Jackie doesn't want to leave the plane because she thinks people are coming to rescue them, but Ty doesn't think they'll be found. So now she's pivoted to focusing on long-term survival. They look to Coach Ben to make a decision as their leader, but he's been kind of out of it. Misty has been trying to nurse him, but he won't eat. He says he doesn't know what to do and that he's fine with being left behind to die. So that's not a huge vote of confidence. So they take a vote. The people that want to wait at the plane crash are Jackie, Lotta, Shauna, Mari, and Laura Lee. And the ones that want to go to the lake are Ty, Van, Misty, Travis, Shauna again. Okay, girl, pick a side, and everyone else. So that is what wins. Now, before they leave, they do write SOS gone to lake on the plane in case anyone stumbles across it or rescue manages to track the plane, which is very smart of them. Now, Jackie's mad at Shauna because first Shauna voted for Jackie's plan and then she switched to vote for Ty's plan. But Ty, on the other hand, comes up and thanks Shauna for voting for her plan. Shauna reminds Ty that this might not be the right decision, and none of them actually know what they're doing. Okay, so adult Shauna follows Jeff to his 4 p.m. meeting. It's at a hotel. She follows him inside. Quick little flashback to the wilderness. As they're walking to the lake, Lottie smells something and then sees a dead animal being eaten by birds. Coach Ben, who is with them because they made this sort of like makeshift chair that they're carrying so that he isn't left behind, thinks it was wolves that killed the bear. Wolves can kill anything if the pack's big enough, he says. Adult Ty is on the phone with Jessica Roberts, who is not actually a reporter, but a private investigator hired by Thaisa Turner. Basically, Ty is running for senator, and she wanted to know if anyone from the crash would talk if bribed by her opponents. Like, spill what happened out in the wilderness. Again, what happened that was so bad out there that would ruin her campaign if, like, it came to light. And then the PI also gives her information on her opponent's daughter's drug problem, which is something that like she could use against him. So she's at the park and actually has to end the call because Sammy just punched a kid and hit him in the face. At home, Ty tells her wife that Sammy hit the kid because he called his mom a cannonball, aka a cannibal. Ty is not really concerned about the effect that this could have on Sammy. She's more concerned about the damage that this is going to do to her campaign. Sammy is there listening to his parents talk about this, and he tells Ty to be quiet. So Ty takes his doll away from him. Give him back, he says, to his mom. His vibe is that he's angry, he's creepy, but he's calm. You know, he's not like throwing a tantrum like a normal little kid. This is new behavior for him, and Simone is concerned that her son is acting this way. Flashback to the teens. They finally get to the lake. They throw their bags down and they run in with glee. Van goes in the water first, and then everyone follows behind her. And everyone is very happy. Even Travis, who splashes water at Natalie. Mari notices for the first time that Travis is hot, but Jackie is like, girl, it's only been 3 days. You cannot be that desperate. But Natalie totally likes him, and maybe he likes her. In present day, Misty and Natalie arrive at Travis's house after like 25 years of not seeing him. And remember, Misty is the one that found him, and she tells Natalie that he even changed his name, which is why he was so impossible to find. Now, I think this is important to note because it means that some of the teens who got rescued didn't want anything to do with the group. Like, they didn't want to be associated with the Yellowjackets at all, going to the extent of changing their names, living in solitude, hiding from the people that they were out there with. There's no answer when they knock and no car, so Presumably no one is home. Natalie quickly breaks the door to get inside, but Misty is a little apprehensive, which, you know, we've seen Misty do a lot of questionable things, so if she's kind of like hesitant about this, that probably isn't a good sign. She says it's never a good sign when a suspect lives like a hermit. The less a suspect owns, the creepier they turn out to be. But it's fine. Natalie convinces Misty super easily to go outside and go through Travis's trash so that she can be alone inside. And another thing to note, Natalie is really good at handling Misty calmly. Inside his bedroom, Natalie finds his jacket. She's clearly affected by it. She holds it to her. She's smiling. She finds a picture and then like sees his reflection in a mirror, but he's not really there when she turns around. Misty actually did find something in the trash, even though it was kind of like a wild goose chase. She finds a pay stub for Travis, so now they know that he works at a farm nearby. Unfortunately, before they can make it to the farm, the sheriff walks in on them and arrests both of them for breaking and entering. At the hotel, Shauna is trying to get the front desk lady to give her Jeff's room number. She pretends to be some government agent, which the lady clearly doesn't believe. But lucky for her, Adam is there and he kind of saves her by saying, DC is on the line for a briefing, which gives her an excuse to walk away from the front desk lady with like a little bit of dignity. Now, what is Adam doing here? He's here for a drink because his art studio space is right down the street, and he invites Shauna to join him. And she says yes, because after all, she's literally only at this hotel to catch her cheating husband. So shouldn't she cheat on him too? Like, why should she feel bad about that? Adam is a cutie. Misty and Natalie are locked in a jail cell. Natalie uses her one phone call to call Miss Thaisa Turner. We learn that Ty paid for Natalie's rehab, but Natalie never asked her to do that, and she also tells her that the only reason she's there is because she's looking for Travis. Ty tells her to go home. He disappeared on her for a reason. This is how the story goes. The two of them are toxic. Ty says that she can't help her. And this is also when Natalie confronts Misty about stealing her battery cable, but it's not a super big deal. They're just like chill about it. At the lake, everyone is still having fun. Misty squirts water on Coach Finn's head. Ty is watching Van in the water with a little smile. Akila tells Ty that she's not that much of a bitch while she braids her hair. Shauna watches Jackie from the water, and Jackie starts like talking and laughing with Mari to make Shauna jealous. The drama. Now they're in like a lake, but it is surrounded by like trees and mountains. And Lottie sees a light shining far away in the trees. It's flashing, a reflection of something on the hill. Immediately, they're on the move to investigate. You'll never guess what it is. It's a cabin. They found a literal cabin out in the middle of nowhere. What luck. That is so lucky, except for some reason, Lottie doesn't like it. No one's home. It's clearly abandoned, but for some reason, Lottie will not go inside. It's a pretty simple wood cabin. There's some furniture, rope, bottles, antlers above the fireplace, dishes on the table, but it's dusty and it smells. And the question is, where did they go? Whoever lived there before. Shauna is looking at the antlers on the wall, and she touches them. While she's having her moment with the antlers, the other girls are exploring the house and they find canned food in the pantry, but it's rotten. So like whoever was living there a long time ago if their canned food has gone bad. Van finds some porn magazines, and Travis is kind of like trying to act tough, like he's shallow about that kind of stuff, but all the girls keep calling him Flex instead of Travis to like get him upset, whatever that means. Shauna cannot focus on the date with Adam. She's looking at every single person that walks by to catch Jeff and this Bianca. We are what we pretend to be. We must be careful what we pretend to be, Adam quotes to her. She quotes something back, and he says he likes this book club. Suddenly, she sees Jeff walk by. with a blonde woman. Back at the jail, it turns out that Misty used her one phone call to call Kevin Tan, the detective from the bar that gave Natalie his card. Yeah, that Kevin Tan, who Misty's been texting pretending to be Natalie. He got them out of the holding cell. Thanks, Kevin. At the cabin, Shauna brings Jackie, who's been sitting outside crying all day, a blanket. Shauna apologizes to Jackie and admits that she's really scared that they're just never gonna be rescued, and she just needs her best friend. They hug it out, and Jackie tries to comfort her, saying, the worst is behind us. So the cabin has like a wraparound deck, and they're on one end. On the other end, we see Coach Ben. His leg is being swarmed by flies, and so he's trying to swipe them off, but he ends up falling off of the deck onto the ground. He screams at his leg. The teens are just standing around watching. They don't know what to do. Misty tries to jump in and help, and he slaps her across the face, but she still holds him, and then he breaks down and starts crying. Why couldn't I have died? He cries. Because we needed you, Misty says. Going back to Ty's flashback of her grandma dying in her childhood home, we see Ty as a kid, singing with her grandma, who is quite literally on her deathbed. Her grandma looks off into the corner of the room, and she's scared, telling the man with no eyes to get away and not take her eyes. Little Ty sees his reflection in a mirror and curls up into her grandma and screams. That is literally so scary. I'm getting chills because it's dark outside and I'm scared. That's scary. Adult Ty is talking to her son. Sammy asks why people don't like her, and she says whatever people say about her is not true. I know. You're not the bad one. She's confused by this and asks if someone else is the bad one, but he doesn't answer. He just rolls over and says goodnight. Okay, Sammy, that's totally normal, not weird at all. Later, Ty's in her office on the phone with her opponent. He's a man who's also running for senator, and he's the one who ran like the cannibal ad about her. She threatens him with the information about his daughter's like drug problem that he covered up, but Miss Jessica Roberts uncovered for her. I won't think twice about destroying you, your family, your entire existence. Don't fuck with me, Phil. And then she hangs up. So this is the first time we've seen her act like this as an adult. Back at the hotel, we see Shauna and Adam go into a hotel room. Okay, it's night, and Lottie still won't go inside the cabin. She has a bad feeling. Can't a girl just have a bad feeling sometimes? But Ty, always the voice of reason, eventually convinces her to come inside the cabin. You don't believe in that shit, and I don't either, Ty tells her. Important to note, prior to coming to the wilderness, we've only seen Laura Lee be religious. Okay, now lock in because the following happened simultaneously. So, Teen Ty hears the wood above them creaking like someone is in the attic of the cabin. Child Ty is at her grandma's funeral. She goes up to the casket. Teen Ty goes up to the attic. Adult Ty goes through the house. Adult Ty steps on a toy eye. Teen Ty finds Lottie in the attic. Adult Ty sees her son's doll destroyed on the floor of their basement. The symbol is written in dust on the attic floor. There's a skeleton sitting in a chair in the attic. Her grandma's eyes are gone. Told you. Lottie says. That's so freaky and spooky scary. That's literally spooky scary skeletons. Misty and Natalie find Willowberg Ranch, the place Travis has been working. They get there. Misty tells Natalie not to look. Not to look at what? Travis, hanging from the ceiling. Travis is dead. Natalie is quite distraught and Misty comforts her, but there are sirens in the distance. Misty snaps Natalie out of it and carries her back to the car so they can leave before the cops catch them at the scene. Natalie is very insistent that Travis did not kill himself, despite what it looks like. Misty finds a note from Travis's cabin that says, "Tell Nat she was right." End of episode 3. Oh my god. Okay, that was a scary one. Some questions I have. Did Travis actually kill himself? What was Natalie right about? What happened to Sammy's doll? How did Lottie know the skeleton was in the attic? Like, is that why she didn't want to go inside? And also, what will happen now that Lottie is out of pills? Okay, episode 4, Bear Down. We open on a flashback of the plane crashing. Natalie's dad is sitting next to her on the plane. She grabs his arm. He's drinking and also he's missing half of his face. "You've already got blood on your hands," he says, and she realizes she's holding a gun. "We're almost there. It's been waiting for us," he says. Natalie wakes up from the dream. She's in the cabin. She sees Lottie sitting up and tells her it's okay, they buried the dead guy that was in the attic. But Lottie says bad things happened here. Adult Misty is on the phone with adult Natalie. The coroner ruled Travis's death a suicide, but Natalie still doesn't believe it. Even though he left a note, the rest of them got those notes with the creepy symbol on it, and she's putting the pieces together. There has to be a connection. Teen Travis found a gun in the dead guy's supplies, and he tries to shoot a squirrel, but Van makes him stop. Coach Ben comes out, demands the gun from Travis, and finally takes control of a situation for once. The situation is they're out of food. Ben knows how to hunt, but he's missing a leg, so someone else will have to learn how to shoot to hunt food. We get a flashback of younger teen Natalie in her house. She walks in with a boy very quietly. They sneak into her room and she turns on a CD. She calls the boy Kevin. Young Kevin Tan, the detective. She paints his nails with a Sharpie. It's very cute. But when she hears a car door outside, she tells him to get out fast. But he's not fast enough, and Natalie's dad barges into the room screaming. Kevin somehow makes it out, but Natalie's dad is screaming at her. "Are you a slut? Is this what you do when I'm not here? You think I'm stupid?" To clarify, Kevin is just her friend. They didn't even kiss. They were innocently hanging out, listening to music. So we know that Natalie's dad wasn't just overprotective, he was abusive. As adult Shauna is getting ready, she is having flashbacks to hooking up with super heartthrob guy Adam. We get confirmation about what went down in the hotel room. Cheating. Back at camp, the teens are having a competition to see who has the steadiest hand when shooting the gun. They're putting a coin on the barrel of the gun and then seeing who can pull the trigger without the coin falling off. I think. I don't know anything about guns. Travis goes, does it. Natalie goes, but she can't do it. She's shaking way too much for some reason. Travis, ever the man of the group, makes a comment that she should stick to folding laundry and cooking food. So she decides to go again. Natalie succeeds this time and Travis storms off. Shauna is off alone journaling when Javi finds her. She's not part of the competition. "I don't think I'm meant to handle firearms," she tells him. She rips a page out of her journal and hands it to him with a pen. He really needs this. His dad is dead. His brother won't talk to him. Maybe he can journal it out. How sweet, Shauna. The next round of the shooting competition is hitting the most cans off of a log that's pretty far away. Also, if you're curious, they don't need to worry about saving bullets because the guy who lived in the cabin was stocking up for the apocalypse. So there's just an infinite supply of bullets in the cabin. Mari is up first. She hits 1 can. Travis is up second. He hits 3 cans. Natalie calls him Flex, and he spins on her with the gun. He's pointing the gun at her because she called him Flex. Then he turns back around and shoots a 4th can. Natalie's up. She shoots all 5 remaining cans in succession. No misses. So it's Natalie and Travis. Later, Coach Ben is sending the 2 of them off on their first hunting expedition. The group might be in the wilderness for a while, so it's up to Natalie and Travis to keep everyone alive. And they have to work together. No pressure. No pressure. That's actually so easy. Travis is upset, and he says he's not working with Natalie and storms off, leaving Natalie alone with the gun. Adult Shauna and Adam are hanging out outside of a liquor store. Shauna goes up to a man outside the store and asks him to buy her alcohol, even though she is clearly above the legal drinking age, to make up for her lost youth. He charges her an extra $20, but it's happening. Adam asks why Shauna missed out on her youth, and she says got straight A's and married young. He says that's a good start. Adam clearly wants to know more about Shauna, but Shauna literally will not tell him anything meaningful. Ty is at a big donor event where she really needs the financial support of one woman in particular for her campaign. But the lady keeps disappearing. She can't talk to her. The hosts of the party bring out dinner, an entire roasted pig. But Ty sees a head with antlers. Also, she's a vegetarian, so she can't even eat the pig, and she is drinking a lot. Rich old people are asking her what she had to resort to out in the wilderness to survive. It seems that's all anyone wants to know. Ty looks to the side and sees a wolf running down the hallway. She is clearly overwhelmed and drunk, so she excuses herself and heads to the bathroom. While she's smoking in the bathroom, the woman that she's been looking for all night comes up to her and asks for a smoke. And they split a Cliff Bar, because neither of them want to eat the pig. Okay, adult Natalie is on a date with Kevin Tan. She's telling him about Travis. And also Misty is there in the restaurant, secretly watching her, when she notices Jessica Roberts is also there. Once Natalie notices Misty's outside, she tells her to go home, but Misty is not having it. Instead, she goes to confront the reporter, who we know Ty hired and is no real threat. She's not even a real reporter, but no one else but Ty knows that. And Misty threatens her. Shauna and Adam are playing mini golf. So cute. They make a bet because Adam wants to know something personal about Shauna, and Shauna wants Adam to do whatever she wants to do next, no questions asked. And I will just say, they're really cute and flirty and silly, and they have like good chemistry. Sorry, Jeff. Adam misses the shot and Shauna makes it, so now they have to do whatever she wants to next, no questions asked. The bet was to hit a ball over the golf course gate and into the neighborhood behind. And Adam is kind of concerned that Shauna could have hit someone with her golf ball, and her response is, R.I.P. Sorry, it was worth it. And Adam responds, savage. Okay, guys. Back in the wilderness, nature girly Akila is showing everyone which berries are poisonous and which berries they could gather for food. This whole time, Misty is like really wanting to finish so that she can get back to Coach Ben, which Ty and Van are making fun of. Lottie is kind of off on her own when she sees the symbol carved into a tree, but doesn't tell anyone. And huge news, Jackie finds a literal airplane. It must have belonged to the dead guy. And it works. Laura Lee starts it, but she can't control it. And the propellers start turning and the plane starts moving forward. And it almost kills Van until Jackie comes and pushes her out of the way. So maybe they're even now. She left her for dead, but then she saved her life. Everyone is super excited about finding a plane, but Lottie says it didn't want him to leave. Can't a girl just get a feeling? Okay, back at the party, Ty and the donor lady are getting along very well. She agrees to endorse her, but first she wants Ty to show her who she really is. She wants to know what really happened out there. I'm not sure anyone could ever understand. We scavenged and we starved. That's what Ty tells her. She's repeating the same official story that Shauna told Jessica Roberts. Basically, they start arguing a little bit. The lady tells Ty to watch her tone. Ty tells her to fuck off. Okay, well, there goes the endorsement. No endorsement. That was her one last hope for her campaign. So the race to the Senate is not looking good. Earlier, Natalie had gone to her house to get a tape, which she gives to Kevin at the end of their date. He confesses his love to her from when they were younger and leans in to kiss her, clearly still in love. But Natalie can't stop thinking about Travis. They tried to keep each other clean, Natalie and Travis. And if she would have known what he was planning to do, she could have done something to stop him. Kevin feels bad and says he can make some calls to get the toxicology report because Natalie's making it seem like she wants to know if Travis was high when he died. But Natalie actually hasn't accepted Travis's death as a suicide. She's making Kevin think that so that she can get the toxicology report. Young Natalie follows Travis down to the plane crash site where they have a little heart-to-heart. Travis shares that he got the nickname Flex because he had surgery on his back, and the rumor is that he had a rib removed so that he could be flexible enough to suck his own dick. A guy named Bobby Farley started this rumor. Now, Travis is also in the process of digging up his dad's grave from where he was buried at the crash site. He's trying to get his great-grandfather's ring that was on his dad's finger when he died and was buried. He keeps digging, but he throws up. He can't do it. I have to bring something back, he says. Natalie realizes that he wants to get the ring for Javi, so she gets the ring off of his dad's decomposing finger for him. Except it won't come off, so she has to cut it off with a knife. It's very gross and a tense scene, but also it's like so sweet of her to do that for Travis, who's really been nothing but a dick to her this whole time. So with this newfound kind of respect for each other, Natalie and Travis have a smoke. Travis opens up about his dad being shit and not even liking Travis. And this causes Natalie to have a flashback of her dad abusing her and her mom. In the flashback, we see Natalie grab a rifle and point it at her dad. It doesn't matter how shitty they are, it still fucks you up when they're gone, she tells Travis, implying that her dad is gone. So Shauna and Adam are at the top of a bridge taking their clothes off when Jackie shows up. Teen Jackie. In her soccer uniform, only Shauna can see her. Someone is going to get hurt, she tells Shauna. So what Shauna wanted to do next, no questions asked, was jump off a bridge. Her and Adam jump off the bridge and they're fine. They make out and then they get in his van and do more than that. Poor Jeff. Okay, lock in. This next bit happens simultaneously. So Natalie and Travis are finally working together to hunt, and they find a deer. Natalie flashes back to pointing the gun at her dad. He's not scared. He says she cried when she killed a fucking turkey. She can't shoot him. She's pointing the gun at her dad, then at the deer. She pulls the trigger. In the flashback, her dad rips the gun from her hands. The safety was on. He walks out the front door of their trailer after verbally berating her, and she screams after him that he's the useless one. He turns back around to yell at her some more, trips, and shoots himself with the gun. The safety was off. Natalie shoots the deer. Travis and Natalie carry the deer back to camp where everyone is in disbelief that they actually got one because now they have food. Coach Ben instructs them on the next step, and Misty wants to try bleeding it out, but Shauna says she'll do it. And Coach gives her the knife and the instructions. They're having deer for dinner. Shauna cuts off pieces for people as it's cooked. Travis gives Javi the family ring and Natalie watches. And it's been like a good chill day. Coach Ben's work here is done. He tries to go back to the cabin, but Misty trips him. It's like she wants him to struggle so he'll need her. Adult Misty calls adult Shauna. We learned that Shauna told her never to call her, so they're not in contact like she is with Ty. Travis is dead, Misty says, before Shauna hangs up without saying anything. At home, Jeff is up, and he asks Shauna how book club was. Poor Jeff. End episode 4. Okay, questions after this episode. How far will Misty go to make sure Coach Ben needs her? What does the symbol on the tree mean and how did it get there? What does Lottie mean it didn't want him to leave? Why did Shauna see Teen Jackie on the bridge? And why did Ty see a wolf at her event? Welcome back. It is a new day. My hair is curled just for you. Episode 5, Blood Hive. In the cabin, the girls find a little CD player and Mari puts on This Is How We Do It. The girls have a little dance party with Javi while Travis and Coach Ben watch on. It's so cute and fun. It's a moment of light in the darkness until the CD player stops and the girls hear creaking in the attic. Lottie is surprised that everyone else heard the sound, so that begs the question, what else has she been hearing? Coach Ben is kind of in charge and he tells the girls to just get some sleep. Okay, we are now entering Cringe City. The next morning, Misty wakes up and enters Coach Ben's room. He has a boner. She tries to touch it. That's so normal, Misty. But he wakes up and tells her not to do that. And she seems really hurt by this while he's super freaked out. Understandably. That is assault, Misty. Now, Ben is in a weird position because he is older than her. But now that they're in the wilderness, the dynamics have kind of changed. This girl literally cut off his leg while he was passed out, which did probably save his life. But now he has to literally depend on her for nursing. And it's also so obvious that she's in love with him, and he clearly doesn't like that. Natalie wakes up a sleeping Jackie who does not want to get up because it's so cold and she has cramps, which for the record, everyone does because their periods synced up. The girls are all doing chores, some cooking, some cleaning, some doing laundry, some chopping wood. They seem to have low-key really good survival skills and initiative for a bunch of teen girls from New Jersey. But hey, people did say they were special. Mari is being really rude to Jackie and tells her to get more water, which Jackie does. When she gets to the lake, she sees Lottie standing in the water staring out at nothing. On the way back, Jackie is tired and struggling to carry the bucket all the way from the lake to the cabin, and all the girls are smirking at her. Now, I know I said I was just going to give you the facts, but I do want to interject my opinion here because I don't understand this. Like, yes, I understand that the girls want everyone to pull their weight, but Jackie literally is. She didn't complain about getting the water. It's not her fault if it's heavy. That's normal. What's abnormal is that Jackie is the only one out of this whole group that doesn't have these crazy survival skills. Anyway, Shauna is late for her period. Good thing she's a virgin, otherwise Jackie would be worried. After a little family breakfast, adult Shauna tells Jeff that their daughter is an asshole and that Shauna is the only one in their family who understands that actions have consequences. Tonight is Halloween and Jeff is really excited to stay in and hand out candy with her, but she has to go to book club. Jeff actually offers to go with her to her book club and make it a little date, but Shauna says no because she's not going to book club. Book club is a code for hanging out with Adam. Kevin calls Natalie after getting the toxicology report and he tells her that Travis wasn't on anything when he died. Natalie immediately dials a contact called Don't Pick Up. It's Misty. Now, Misty has a contact who can hack Kevin and get them the whole file on Travis's death. Ty is trailing in all the polls in regards to her campaign for senator. She's at home when she looks outside and sees a wolf. So she grabs a letter opener as a weapon, runs outside, but there's nothing there. When she goes back to her door, the word spill is written in large red letters. Like, spill the tea, what happened in the wilderness. Teen Ty catches Shauna faking her period with deer's blood because hers still hasn't come yet. Shauna makes a point to show Jackie her fake bloody rag, proving her period was here, it was just late. Jackie is trying to find batteries for the CD player, and the rest of the girls are irritated that she's not doing real work. Shauna notices the vibes and the tension, so she takes Jackie to show her how to cut up the dead deer, and also tells her that people are noticing she isn't pitching in. Jackie seems to be the only one not adapting to the wilderness because she doesn't belong out here, and she doesn't know how much longer she can survive in the wilderness. Shauna encourages her, and it's surprising that Shauna is the one giving Jackie a pep talk for once. Jackie tells Shauna she's turning into a badass out here. Shauna tells Jackie that she makes people feel better just by being herself. And then Shauna gives the heart necklace back to Jackie. Jackie is Pickerel. Ty and her wife get home from taking Sammy trick-or-treating when Ty notices a can of red paint and a paintbrush under his bed. Did Sammy paint the word spill on their door? Ty confronts Sammy about this, but he insists he did not paint it. He says the bad one did. The lady in the tree. Shauna and Adam are in the city at a masquerade party, and Adam tells Shauna that he went to school at Pratt where they partied all the time, so he's used to this. Misty and Natalie meet up with her hacker in person. He's not really interested in helping, but Misty dumps gasoline in his lap and Natalie lights a lighter and holds it over him. This convinces him to give the file up. Okay, big news. Teen Ty and Teen Van are dating and they're making out by a tree. Mari runs out of the cabin screaming that something fell on her when she was under the trap door, and this freaks everyone out. Jackie takes Shauna's advice to heart and tries being positive. She tells everyone they should have a seance to talk to the spirit who's haunting the attic, and everyone is giggling, and it's like a nice moment. Like a reminder that these are teenage girls. At the Halloween bar, Shauna sees teen Jackie in her soccer uniform, but it is actually just her daughter, Callie. Adam comes up to the two of them now, so now Callie knows that Shauna is also cheating. Callie is also on Molly, so Shauna says goodbye to Adam, takes Callie home. After a heart-to-heart with her wife about Sammy, Ty decides to drop out of the race for senator in order to spend more time with her son. Now, Misty and Natalie are looking through Travis's file at photos of the crime scene. Misty notices a smudge of wax in one of the pictures. She puts together the photos, connects the markings, and it draws the symbol. Natalie claims that Travis didn't believe in any of this shit, and Natalie promises that he did not put it there. So who did? On the way home, Callie tells Shauna that there's no way that Adam doesn't know about any of the Yellowjackets stuff, and accuses Jackie of being the baggage between her parents. Turns out the soccer uniform that Callie was wearing wasn't Shauna's, it was Jackie's. Jackie's parents gave it to Shauna on Jackie's 40th birthday. Callie starts crying and tells her mom that she's sorry that she had to go through all that, like being out in the wilderness, and that she knows Shauna isn't fine. She can see it. When teen Shauna and Jackie are setting up for the seance in the attic, they place candles on all of the markings of the symbol that are carved into the floor up there. Why are there symbols carved into the floor of the attic? And also on the trees outside. At the seance, Jackie anoints everyone with deer blood and dirt. They offer Shauna as the instrument. She holds a pendulum thing and it swings to one side for yes and one side for no. Van asks if OJ did it. The girls are laughing, but Jackie asks for real questions. Mari asks if their principal is screwing another teacher. It is certain. Would they have won nationals? No. Now, Ty and Laura Lee are downstairs not participating with Ben and Javi. Laura Lee is reading flying manuals about how to fly the plane. Javi and Ty hear all the girls laughing and they decide to go upstairs. But Coach Ben looks really out of it. Earlier in the day, Misty gave him some tea, so we can just go ahead and assume that she drugged him. At the seance, Misty asks if the person she likes her back. Yes. Javi asks if they're all going to die out there, which just really brings the mood down. The pendulum moves in an infinity sign, and suddenly Lottie starts screaming and the attic windows fly open. Lottie starts saying it wants over and over. It wants, then hungry. Then she starts laughing. She says, it's in Shauna already. Lottie starts speaking French, and the girls tell Jackie to translate because they're in French class together. But Jackie says that her and Lottie both suck at French. It wants blood, Jackie manages to translate. Here. Lottie must spill blood or else. She slams her head into the window. Coach Ben throws up downstairs. Lottie is screaming. Laura Lee finally runs up to the attic, throws a Bible at Lottie, and snaps her out of it. Okay, in present day, Ty's eyes look a little more red than brown. During her resignation press conference, instead of backing out of the race, she blames the paint on Phil's, her opponent's, supporters. She sees the man with no eyes from her grandma's deathbed in the crowd. She is staying in the race. Simone and Sammy are blindsided by this. The next morning, Laura Lee is scrubbing down the attic. Ben confronts Misty about literally poisoning him. Misty admits her feelings to him, and he tells her he feels the same way, but he doesn't think he can control himself around her. She's not even 18. He's her teacher. He couldn't live with himself if he ever crossed that line. And the other girls would be jealous. So it needs to be their secret. And she is eating it up. This is a lie, by the way. Ben is literally scared of Misty and all their previous interactions, and now she's drugged him. So this is the only way he can think of to get her to back off and not like retaliate against him. Once night falls, it's clear that the girls are really scared and shaken up. Ty is being logical and reminds them that Lottie has been acting weird for weeks, and there's nothing up there in the attic. To prove this, Ty says she's gonna sleep up there in the attic. No one stops her or joins her. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but they all sleep on the floor of the cabin with blankets and pillows by a fire. It's a very nice, cozy setup. Shauna wants Jackie to go with her up into the attic with Ty, but Jackie says no. So Shauna doesn't go either. We finally see adult Shauna be a parent, and she gives Callie some Pedialyte the morning after the Halloween party. Callie thinks she has blackmail on her mom now, and she starts listing off new rules, like no curfew, or she'll tell her dad about Shauna's new boyfriend. But Shauna's not worried. Callie can't say anything. Mutually assured destruction. Shauna tells her the price of a divorce lawyer would take up Callie's college fund, and she would be spending her Friday nights on Jeff's sad apartment couch. And then after a few months, he'd come to her to start asking for advice about dating girls her age. Shauna then calls Jeff into the room and tells him Callie has something to say to him. She's testing her. She's not scared. Callie confesses to sneaking out into the city, getting high, freaking out, and says she called Shauna to give her a ride home. Young Shauna decides to go into the attic anyway, and Jackie seems a little betrayed by this. In the attic, Ty asks, "How far along are you? You are pregnant, right?" Because remember, Ty saw Shauna fake her period with that deer blood. "You won't tell anyone, will you?" Shauna asks. "I won't," Ty says. "If we're stuck out here long enough, I have a feeling it'll come out one way or another." So like nightmare scenario, Shauna is pregnant out in the middle of nowhere. Cause remember her and Jeff didn't use a condom? It's all coming full circle. Adult Shauna Googles herself. Is there truth in Callie's accusations that there's no way Adam doesn't know about the Yellowjackets and the plane crash? Is that the only reason he's getting close to her? Ty shows up at Natalie's hotel room, and Natalie shows her pictures of the floor of the barn where they found Travis's body. Ding! Their phones go off. They both get a text requesting $50,000 and the symbol from the wilderness. Ty immediately calls Shauna. Now, before they went to meet up with the hacker, Misty gave Natalie a little gift, a little owl-shaped diffuser. Well, it's actually a hidden camera, and Misty is watching this whole interaction from the hidden camera in the owl diffuser. End episode 5. Okay, some questions I have. What the heck happened at the seance? Did something take over Lottie and that's why she could speak French? What is already in Shauna? Is Ty right that there's nothing up there? What is Shauna going to do about her pregnancy? How much does Adam know about Shauna? Who is the other one, or the lady in the tree Sammy keeps blaming things on? And why did Ty see the man with no eyes and decide to stay in the race? Episode 6, Saints. A very young Lottie is in the back of her family's car at a stoplight. Suddenly she starts screaming, and they miss the green light because her parents are looking back at her, and a semi-truck flies through the intersection, hitting the car that did go with the green light, and Lottie immediately stops screaming. Later, she hears her parents argue about whether or not to send her to a psychiatrist. Her mother thinks she's clairvoyant or something, but her dad thinks she needs help. Now, teen Lottie is out with everyone looking for berries. Mari makes a dig at Lottie about cabin guy, but Lottie fires back. Clearly, her personality is a little more normal, more similar to what we saw at the beginning of the show. Oh wait, just kidding, because then Lottie sees a deer with bloody antlers walk by through the trees. When Van comes up to her, it's gone. The deer's not really there. Lottie says nothing is wrong and doesn't mention the deer, but she still sees it. Adult Shauna is at Natalie's motel. Randy, Jeff's best friend that was into Shauna when they were teens, is also staying at the hotel because he's having marriage troubles. Shauna says she's only there because her book club is meeting nearby. Then Randy shows her a Yellowjackets tattoo that he has and says he's not a snitch. Dynamics within the adults are interesting. Natalie tells Shauna she looks like shit when she opens the door, to which Shauna replies, "Back at you." Natalie makes a dig about Jeff, but Ty tells them to stop. We're not doing this. So for some reason, Natalie and Shauna don't like each other, and Ty is kind of the mediator. And no one likes Misty, because technically she's not included in this. Shauna looks at the photos. Natalie and Ty think whoever killed Travis is also blackmailing them, but turns out Shauna isn't getting blackmailed. Shauna thinks it has to be someone from the team since they clearly knew about the symbol, or the reporter, even though Ty had told Jessica Roberts to back off for now. Natalie decides to call the reporter, and they yell at Natalie to put her phone down and not call the reporter. So now it's Ty and Shauna against Natalie. But they come up with a plan. Ty is going to get $50,000, and Shauna says they can put a GPS tracker in like the bag that the money's going to be in. So when they drop off the money and the blackmailer picks it up, they can track them and find out who's doing this. Ty and Shauna don't want to bring Misty into this, but Natalie does. It's reminiscent of the teen fight about Allie or even moving the camp to the lake. It's Ty and Shauna against Natalie. Also, Shauna gets upset about only hearing about this now, like the fact that they waited a little bit to tell her. Shauna is dreaming that Jackie is helping her breathe through labor, and Misty delivers the baby. It's a rotisserie chicken. Shauna rips off a leg and eats it. Ty and Van are writing words on each other's backs in the water at night when Van notices that Ty's hands are really dirty, but Ty doesn't know how they got that way. Also, Ty and Van's relationship is a secret because Ty says she's not interested in the drama. New plan alert. Ty wants to go look for help, but Van reminds her that they're surrounded by literally hundreds of miles of wilderness. Ty thinks there could be a town or an outpost nearby, but she's sure if they stay here, they're all gonna die. After her lake excursion, Ty goes back to the attic where she and Shauna have been sleeping for a while, and it turns out Shauna has had dreams about birthing food before. Shauna thinks she's gonna die in childbirth anyway, so she wants to try and take care of her situation with a wire. She also tells Ty that it's Jeff's baby. Shocking news. But Ty doesn't think it's worth dying to keep Jackie from finding out. Jeff and Shauna are having lunch with the Taylors, Jackie's family, for her birthday. They got Shauna a present, and it's kind of implied that they do this every year. It's a little figurine rabbit because Jackie loved rabbits. Kind of reminds me of the rabbit Shauna killed in her garden and fed to her family, but I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. Jeff and Shauna's wedding anniversary is coming up, and Mrs. Taylor is being kind of condescending, giving them both backhanded compliments. Jackie was always worried about Shauna finding someone. Jeff and Shauna are a better pair because they're content and don't want more than what they have. They bring up Callie, and Shauna tells them she doesn't even like her daughter. Yes, Shauna, we know. Jackie's parents want to help them pay for Callie's college, but Shauna tells them no before they even finish. Her and Jeff have it covered. They don't have it covered. Back at camp, teen Jackie misses Jeff. His smell, how they held hands, his impressions. He must be losing his mind now that she's gone. She regrets not telling Jeff that she loved him when he said it to her that day before they left. Now this is news to Shauna. She didn't know Jeff said he loved her. Don't forget when they were hooking up, that's what Shauna asked Jeff to say to her. Shauna asks her if she does love him. Jackie says she feels bad about making him wait to sleep with her instead of answering the question, and Shauna looks sick. Jackie gives her her last piece of food. So generous. Speaking of love and sex, Natalie and Travis are getting it on the plane with the dead bodies around. Travis is very eager to take things to the next level, but Natalie tells him to slow down in a nice way, but this makes Travis feel like he's screwing up. They walk back holding hands, and everyone at camp makes fun of them. Mari asks what they're hunting for, and Jackie says it too, more seriously, because they are supposed to be out all day hunting, but they haven't found anything since that first deer. Nat's always down for a good time. Natalie threatens to shoot her, saying Jackie is scared of her, but Ty breaks it up before anything can happen. At brunch, Shauna gets up from the table and goes into Jackie's old room. She sees a vision of young Shauna and Jackie planning to find out if Jeff likes Jackie. Teen Jackie looks at adult Shauna and says, "It's not your fault what happened." "I know," Shauna says. Jackie changes her tune. She knows? It's totally her fault. Back at the table, Jackie's mom is commenting about how Shauna must have always compared herself to Jackie, but Jeff defends her and tells them that they were cheating on Jackie while they were still dating. Adult Ty is trying to get the $50,000, but she can't make a withdrawal without her wife's signature, and she does not want to tell Simone about this. Simone has decided to take Sammy to a child psychologist. She's angry with Ty for sneaking out last night. We know that she was at the motel with the other adults, and for changing her mind about the race without saying anything. "The woman I saw out there yesterday was not my wife." Ty explains that she stayed in the race because this was our dream. Giving up on it felt like giving up on us. All Simone says is, 3 o'clock. Our son needs help. She doesn't believe Ty's reasoning. At the appointment, the psychologist is explaining her thoughts about Sammy after an examination to Simone and Ty. Ty is distracted and on the phone. Simone can't believe that Ty is so disinterested in her son's well-being. In the car on the way home, she's trying to make Ty see that there's something wrong with Sammy that he needs help with. He's convinced he's telling the truth about not painting on the door. They're driving and arguing, and Ty almost crashes into a biker until Simone yells for her to stop, and Sammy is in the back seat, scared. Ben is giving Travis the talk. The last thing we need out here is a baby to take care of, and gives him some condoms. Later that night, Lottie gets up while everyone is asleep and sneaks outside. There are antlers hanging on the wall. Lottie stops in front of them. Antler Queen? She grabs a lantern on the way out and sees Ty on the ground shoveling dirt into her mouth. This is how Ty's hands got dirty, but also what is she doing? After brunch with the Taylors on the car ride home, Jeff tells Jackie he doesn't wish he married Jackie. They've made a life together, him and Shauna. It's not perfect, but he has no regrets. The way they started wasn't great, but they were kids. Jackie was gonna break up with him anyway. "I love you, Shauna." Shauna doesn't say it back, poor Jeff. Since Ty can't get money for the blackmailer, Natalie is going to. Kevin shows up with some food, and she has him follow her to a car dealership. She's selling her car to get the money. Then Natalie goes with Kevin to her son's soccer game, since he is her only means of transportation right now. Natalie gives Kevin's son some soccer pointers, and he takes the advice and makes the goal. Natalie gets overwhelmed, presumably sad about what her life could have been, and leaves. Teen Ty wakes up in the attic and notices a wire is missing from her bra. Shauna. As she runs outside, Lottie stops her and asks her if she was outside eating dirt last night. Ty says, "Actual fuck no, I can't do crazy right now, Lottie." But we've seen Ty's dirt-covered hands, and we know Lottie wasn't hallucinating her eating dirt. Lottie decides to talk to Laura Lee. She asks her about God and seeing things. Laura Lee explains that visions are just God's way of communicating. How did they know they weren't just crazy, Lottie asks. She's worried she's crazy. She should be. Laura Lee explains the concept of faith. They knew it because they believed it. They need to accept Jesus into their heart so they can discern the true from the false. Lottie wants to accept Jesus, so we're having a baptism. In the remote woods, Shauna has laid out a blanket, napkins, alcohol, wire, and a lighter. Ty finds Shauna before she starts and says she's going to help her so she doesn't have to do it alone. They start. Shauna is clearly in a lot of pain. Ty is crying, and Shauna finally screams for her to stop. "I can't do it. I don't want to die," she cries over and over in Ty's arms. so she will continue to be pregnant. Laura Lee baptizes Lottie in the lake. Laura Lee dunks Lottie into the water, and Lottie feels like she's drowning and sinking deep into the water. A vision. Lottie is dripping wet and in an industrial-looking alley, following the deer with the bloody antlers from before in the woods. Down a turn is a stairwell filled with candles. She walks up to the top, grabs a match, lights it, and lights a candle. The flame is huge. She opens her eyes and sees Laura Lee, but she is blacked out with the sun behind her. Lottie freaks out at the visions before coming up, and Laura Lee tells her that fire and light is the Holy Spirit. Lottie has been touched by the Holy Spirit. Natalie laughs at Travis again while they're hooking up, and he drops a condom when he stands up. Natalie wants to do it, but first Travis asks, "What number would I be? How many guys have you been with?" Natalie is understandably upset at this and asks why it's okay for guys to sleep with half a volleyball team, but girls are sluts if they do the same. Travis is basically like, because they're guys. It's different. And then he admits he hasn't been with any girls, and Natalie says she's only been with 2 guys. One guy from school and one guy from a show last year. But she was fucked up, he was older, it was bad. It means something to her, especially with Travis. But before anything can happen, they're interrupted by something moving outside the plane. Adult Misty is watching Natalie and Kevin hook up through her secret hidden camera in the diffuser, while she calls Jessica, the reporter, to meet up. Adam is texting Shauna a lot, and she's not responding, but she is reading all them. Jeff has to go into the furniture store, and Shauna offers to go with him, but he declines. Feels like Halloween, but reverse. He tells her to get a jump on book club, and she says she'll find something to do. Or someone, because she immediately texts Adam to meet up. Misty is listening to Phantom of the Opera, or it is just playing over the show, but I like to think it's Misty's hype music, as Jessica Roberts gets into her car. Misty immediately stabs her in the leg with a syringe, and she passes out. Now, I didn't mention before, but Misty has been stealing drugs from her job. Again, she's a nurse at a retirement home, so there's lots of different drugs all over the place. Jessica Roberts wakes up, chained to a bed, duct tape over her mouth, in a basement. Misty is at the top of the stairs, turns, and locks the door. She kidnapped Jessica Roberts and is holding her hostage. Never ignore a Misty threat. Travis and Natalie come back to camp with a deer with bloody antlers, like the one Lottie saw. That's what was outside the plane. That's what they killed. So is it real? Is it not real? Did Lottie actually see it? Deer shed their antlers every season. This is normal, Ben says in response to the girls freaking out about the bloody horns. Shauna cuts open the deer and it is filled with maggots. Lottie, watching, says, "I'm not crazy." Laura Lee says she has a gift. So why would she say this? When not that long ago, Laura Lee had to slap Lottie in the face with the Bible to get her to stop screaming and slamming her head into windows. Okay. The deer is the last straw. Ty is freaking out. They are not getting rescued. She's going to leave in the morning, head south, and find help. If they're still at this cabin when winter comes, they'll either starve or freeze. We cut to adult Ty sitting in a tree outside at night, eating dirt. Her hands are bloody with one big bite mark on one. Her phone buzzes and she's snapped out of her dirt-eating trance. It's Natalie. She got the money. It's go time. End episode 6. Questions I have. So Lottie was at least right about Ty eating dirt. Why does she do that? She's so logical about everything else, but she doesn't seem to know that she does this. What is Misty going to do with the reporter? Who is the blackmailer? Why isn't Shauna getting blackmailed? What did Lottie see during her baptism? Who is the antler queen? Who is Pick Girl? And will Ty succeed in finding help? Episode 7, No Compass. We pick up right where episode 6 left off. Ty is looking at her phone, shaken up. She gets out of the tree and goes to walk back inside her house to wash the dirt off. Which, by the way, she was right outside her house, like a few feet from the door. But at least she didn't go far. But she bit her hand deep, so she washes off the blood and disinfects the wound. Back at camp, everyone thinks Teen Ty leaving is a bad idea. But she argues that there's no food because the animals are migrating. It's gonna be winter soon, and it's gonna be cold. Like, dying feels like falling asleep cold. Laura Lee asks Lottie what she thinks, but she says she doesn't know. Because Laura Lee thinks Lottie is this religious prophet that has been touched by the Holy Spirit. Natalie won't let Ty take the gun. Jackie is on board with Ty leaving. And Ty knows that if she's wrong about this, she'll die. But she's going anyway. Also, Ty cuts off all of her hair before the journey. Van really doesn't want her to go, but she tells her a story. She went to New York City once for her 7th birthday. All she wanted was a soft pretzel and a carriage ride through Central Park. But instead, she got taken to see Cats, the musical. All she wants now is to take Ty to New York City and do all those things with her. She's decided she's not going to die out here without at least trying to get home. Van decides she's going with Ty. And Mari and Akila are coming too. Travis also wants to go because they need a guy with them. But Natalie asks him not to go. Travis folds and says okay immediately, and they kiss. So cute. Also, earlier they burned the deer with maggots and the bloody antlers, but one bone didn't burn. And Lottie and Laura Lee grab it. As the group is getting ready to leave, Lottie gives Van the bone because she thinks it will keep them safe. She also shares with Van she had a dream that there was bright smoke and a river of blood. And Van is confused by this, but she says thanks and takes the bone anyway. Because Laura Lee thinks Lottie is like some prophet now, but everyone else on the team still sees her as their rich teammate who loves talking shit and likes to steal clothes from TJ Maxx. Misty is watching Ben smile at Ty while everyone says goodbye, so last minute she decides that she's gonna go too so she can get this big dramatic goodbye with Ben in front of everyone. Ty and Shauna also have a moment which Jackie notices. And just like that, they're off. Ty, Van, Mari, and Akila. Now, adult Natalie, Shauna, and Ty meet up, and Natalie complains that the other two are late. And Shauna makes a comment that her and Ty have lives and families, and they can't just sneak out a window whenever. Natalie fires back that Shauna's big plan is shit because they'll be able to see the tracker in the bag. The $50,000 is in one stack of $100 bills, so there's lots of space in that bag. Shauna fills the bag with trash from a nearby trash can at the motel, all while Natalie is making digs at Shauna about Jeff, her life, the bag, which is Jeff's. The bag is packed, and Natalie says since it's her money, she should make the drop. Shauna and Ty don't trust her to do this, but Ty gives her the car keys anyway. Important notes about this character interaction. We see Ty and Shauna being close, just like they were as teens, but where Natalie used to be the trusted hunter, now they don't trust her to do anything. And they also don't see her life as good as theirs, low key. Even though Ty and Shauna are having big issues in their personal lives, but whatever. Whatever, marriage is the prize, right? Teen Jackie confronts Shauna about what's going on. Jackie feels crazy because Shauna is obviously hiding something from her. For weeks she's been distant and weird and whispering to Thaisa. What did I do? When did you stop wanting me to be your best friend? Shauna finally tells her she's pregnant. Jackie asks how? With who? Shauna lies and says, with Randy. Jackie, to her credit, is very nice about this whole thing. They're gonna get through it together. Adult Natalie throws the money in a clothing donation bin. Shauna and Ty are waiting nearby in Shauna's car. They're tired of waiting for her, and Shauna suggests Nat probably stopped to get drugs, and that's why she's late getting back to the car. She says Ty is enabling her by sending her to rehab. Ty says she and Shauna both have families. Do they deserve that? Do they deserve people who care about them? And what does Natalie have? Other than the Travis train wreck, she has no one. Now with Travis gone, she has less. Then Ty says something very interesting. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So I do what I can, not just for her, for me. Adult Misty is watching Kevin through her secret camera. Because remember, Natalie and Kevin hooked up and then Kevin fell asleep, and that's when Natalie snuck out to make the drop. We can hear Jessica Roberts yelling in the background, and Misty, annoyed, suits up, gloves up, and goes downstairs. Natalie makes it to Shauna's minivan and has a bottle of alcohol with her. Shauna and Natalie take turns drinking, and they all try to make small talk while they wait for the blackmailer to retrieve the bag. Ty says everything is fine, but Shauna notices and asks about the mark on her hand. Natalie says she's hooking up with Kevin Tan, the cop with 2 kids. Shauna says that sounds complicated, and they all laugh. It's ironic, Shauna. Finally, the tracker starts moving, but by this point, Shauna is too drunk to drive, so Ty drives Shauna's minivan. Back at the cabin, everyone else went down to the lake, so Natalie and Travis take this as an opportunity to hook up in his room that has a bed. He struggles with the protection, but he doesn't want Natalie's help. Natalie is chilling, but Travis keeps getting more and more agitated, and after more complications, he just runs out, leaving Natalie alone on the bed. Jackie is asking Shauna what sex is like. She's sad that her best friend lost her virginity and she had no idea. How could I possibly have missed it? I have a life outside of you, you know, Shauna responds. Shauna tells her it happened the night of Mari's birthday party, but Jackie says it couldn't have happened that night because she had to go back to the party after leaving early to give Randy a ride home. Jackie clearly doesn't believe Shauna's story, but she doesn't push it. Night has fallen and the traveling crew is settling down for the first night. Van is telling stories around a fire, and the story is actually just the plot of Sandra Bullock's Amnesia movie While You Were Sleeping when they hear wolves howling. Ty tells them wolves are scared of humans, but just to be safe, they're going to take turns keeping watch. In 2021, Misty is watching While You Were Sleeping with Jessica Roberts. Misty says she's just protecting her friends because she thinks Jessica is the stalker, the blackmailer, and the murderer of Travis. We know that she most likely isn't because she's not even a reporter. Jessica seems strangely calm, and Misty comments on this. It's not the first time she's been held hostage. Eventually, Jessica admits that Ty hired her to look into everyone who made it back from the wilderness and see if anyone would talk and ruin her campaign. She also notes that she knows Travis's death wasn't a suicide. He was murdered. She says if Misty lets her go, she'll tell her everything she knows about Travis's death. They can be partners. Misty slaps her and puts duct tape over her mouth again. Jessica only has leverage if Misty isn't willing to make her talk. So Jessica has no leverage at all. The other adults are following the tracker. It takes them to a back alley place outside of some sort of store or factory to a semi-truck. Natalie jumps out of the van and runs over holding a gun to the semi-truck driver. But it's not him, and the real blackmailer runs off with the bag of money while wearing all black and a mask. A chase ensues through the clothing store with Nat and Ty in pursuit of the blackmailer. He's knocking over racks of clothes while the girls chase him, and Ty tackles him, but he punches her in the nose. Then he runs into a giant bin of loose glitter, but he gets back up and out the door before they can catch him. Meanwhile, Shauna is trying to cut him off with her van. They all meet up outside just as the blackmailer speeds by. Natalie tries to shoot him, but Ty stops her. The trash and the tracker are all on the ground. He got away with their money. Ty says now they're looking for an asshole covered in glitter. Shauna is upset that Natalie tried to kill the guy and get them all put away for murder. Natalie says they've done worse, to which Shauna responds, "Speak for yourself. Don't drag us into your pit of guilt." Natalie tries to make them understand that she's not doing this for them or for herself. She's doing this for Travis. I know you think I'm crazy. You're no better than I am. You're not healthy. You're not stable. You're living on the brink just like me. Well, the traveling teens have found Lottie's river of blood. It's not actually blood, just a river where the water is red and smells weird. Misty, our survival girl, says that mineral deposits like iron can change the water's color. They try to keep moving, but Mari's compass is messed up and keeps spinning, so they can't tell which direction is south. Ty is the voice of reason through all this, but the other girls are getting scared. And Van is holding the bone that Lottie gave her, which is tied around her neck. Mari asks about maybe going back to the cabin. When they found the plane, Lottie said it didn't want him to leave. Ty says it all sounds insane, with Lottie's dreams and the bone. She says they have options. They'll just use the sun to travel south. There is an explanation for everything. If they want to go back to camp, they can, but Ty is going to keep moving. The other girls follow her, but Van in particular is really shaken up. Lottie literally predicted this, did she not? Adam is outside Shauna's house when she gets back from her crazy night. No cars are home because Callie is at a friend's house and Jeff is out working late. So Adam waited for Shauna because she had texted him to meet up before Natalie texted her, and he wants to know what they're doing, like with their relationship. This upsets Shauna because Adam is the one who wanted to go with the flow, but now he thinks that they could really be something. Shauna gets upset and goes to leave, but he grabs her and pulls her back to him hard. He tells her she wants to blow things up and see what happens. That's who you are. Then they go inside her house at 4 a.m. and hook up. Teen Van is mad at Ty for not taking the other girls' concerns seriously. Van offers to take the first watch, but Ty says she'll do it so everyone can rest. Seems like she feels bad that everyone is so shaken up about the river. Adult Misty fills a syringe with fentanyl. She's filling a box of chocolates with the fentanyl and threatens to send the chocolates to Jessica's father, who's in a nursing home and loves chocolates. So Jessica admits that she was at Travis's house before he died, but he wouldn't talk, so she went home. When she heard about his death, she looked into it, and she found that Travis's bank account was closed right after he died, meaning someone other than him emptied out his bank account. Whoever has the money probably killed him. Shauna wakes up with Adam in her and Jeff's bed. She hears Jeff get home and makes Adam go hide in the closet. When Jeff goes to take a shower, Shauna has Adam sneak out so they don't get caught. Kevin is getting ready to leave Natalie's room when he notices that his gun is missing a bullet. Natalie says she just took his gun for protection when she went to smoke last night and it accidentally went off when she was sitting in a park. He says he's a cop, so he has to account for every bullet, but she can't show him specifically where it went off, so he accuses her of being high. He thinks she literally committed a crime with his gun and gets upset. They fight, he storms out, she's left alone in bed again. I didn't mention it, but earlier teen Shauna caught Javi going through her bag in the attic. He said he was looking for the hunting knife for an art project and she gave it to him, but it made her realize how easy it would be for someone to read her journal, so she grabs it and hides her journal up in the rafters. Later, Shauna sees a wooden figure in the window with her knife. Javi made that. It was his art project. It's a little wolf figurine. And it turns out that Shauna is terrible at hiding things because Jackie found her journal and read it while everyone else was asleep. So now she knows that Shauna cheated with Jeff and lied to her. And this is understandably upsetting news. While taking the first watch, Ty fell asleep and is awoken by howling wolves. She's up in a tree away from camp eating dirt. She's really shocked. So it seems like this was the first time she's woken up while doing this, and now she's scared and confused. There's a scream nearby. The wolves are attacking. The girls are up and fighting them off with fire, but a wolf is attacking Van. Ty arrives and shoots a flare at it, but it keeps attacking. Desperate, she grabs the axe and kills it. Like, kind of overkill, but it was a stressful moment. The other wolves leave, and we finally see the damage. The wolf ripped Van's face open, like so bad you can see her skeleton, and all the girls think she's dead. End of episode 7. Some questions. What will happen with Van? Will the girls turn back now? Who emptied Travis's bank account? What was the deal with the blood river, and how did Lottie know about it? What's going to happen with Shauna and Jackie? And what did Ty mean when she said Natalie was the reason they were there? Episode 8, Flight of the Bumblebee. The girls place Van's body in the fire, but as she starts burning, she regains consciousness and her eyes flicker open. Ty pulls her off the fire. Really? Fire? She gurgles out. Van's not dead. This is now the second time she's escaped death with fire involved. A young Laura Lee is at a pool for Mary Magdalene's summer camp. She stands to dive in the pool. Girl, why? And hits her head hard on the bottom of the pool. Instant blood. She's pulled out by the lifeguard, who gives her CPR and brings her back to consciousness. The lifeguard says God saved her, not him. We can understand that Laura Lee has been shaped by her circumstances. Teen Laura Lee asks God for a sign at the cabin. Lottie asks her if she thinks the group of explorers is okay, and Laura Lee says they're in God's hands now. All they can do is have faith. Adult Shauna is in the kitchen when Callie comes in and gives her Adam's driver's license, which she found on the floor near the couch. She's upset that Shauna is bringing him home now, under her dad's nose. Shauna says she's really sorry, but Jeff isn't an innocent victim. Now, Callie can't find anything about Adam online. No Instagram or website promotion for a struggling artist. What if he's playing Shauna to sell a Yellowjackets story? Shauna calls Pratt Adam's school with a fake name to get transcript files for her transfer student, Adam Martin, but there is no record of an Adam Martin at all. Anyway, Jeff gets home super happy with a gift for Shauna. It's a fancy yellow dress for their high school reunion because he was homecoming royalty, but she'll be turning heads even if she doesn't want to wear it. He loves her so much. Teen Natalie comes into the cabin while Travis is playing with a deck of cards, and she tells him that there are no queens in their deck of cards. He refuses to go hunting with Natalie. You're better at it anyways. So he's still not over the embarrassing moment from the other day. So Natalie leaves to go on her own hunt when she comes across Ben in the forest. She asks him how he convinced Misty to go on the expedition, but he says he didn't have to. She went all on her own. Dumped by Misty Quigley. Big news! Ben is gay. And Natalie says she already knew this because he never looked at any of their boobs, but she thinks it's cool. We learn he has a boyfriend, Paul, who is a writer and wanted Ben to move to the city with him. Then Natalie asks if Travis is gay, since they had complications when they tried to do it. But Ben says that happens when people get nervous, and he sees how Travis looks at Natalie, and he knows he likes her. Before leaving, Natalie promises to not tell anyone about him. Ty is helping Van walk back to camp, and they're both covered in blood. Van says to leave her and let them go. Ty tells the rest of the group to go back to the cabin as fast as they can, and Van collapses in Ty's arms. Travis goes down to the water while Jackie is checking on some fishing nets. They're empty. But Jackie asks if anything happened between him and Natalie. She's very focused on sex these days. He says he really fucked things up, and Jackie says not to worry because relationships are bullshit anyway, and Natalie's standards are really low. She did it with Bobby Farley and missed a week of practice because of it. He's older than them and gross for hanging out with high schoolers even after he graduated, so comparatively, Travis is like Brad Pitt. Oh, okay, this was the older guy from before that Natalie told Travis about. Well, Travis storms off, and Jackie doesn't understand why he's so upset because she was trying to make him feel better by saying he's better than the other guys Natalie's been with. Natalie's coming out of the cabin while Travis is going in, and she asks if they can talk. Bobby Farley is all he says. Natalie explains it was before she knew Travis, before she knew about the flex thing, because remember, Bobby Farley is the one who started the flex rumor and nickname about Travis. She tells him it was a mistake, and Travis says being with her was a mistake too. I guess it's a good thing you couldn't get it up, she says, or else this would have been really hard. And they both leave crying. Natalie sees Jackie walk up a moment later and knows it was her that told him. Now, based on Jackie's facial expression, she is not happy about ruining Travis and Nat's relationship. In the adult timeline, while feeding the reporter locked in her basement, Misty sees Natalie buying drugs through the hidden camera. She rushes out the door to stop her. In Natalie's motel room, she is laying a line when Misty barges in, pushes her down, sniffs it up, and rips the bag. And it all goes into the air. Misty says she'll Venmo Natalie for the coke, but she couldn't sit there and watch her destroy her life. Sit there and watch? Natalie picks up the diffuser and throws it on the ground, shattering it. She shuffles through the pieces before finding the hidden camera, and understandably, she's upset Misty has been spying on everything she's been doing. Misty puts out a peace offering by telling Natalie about Travis's bank account, but Natalie can't trust her anymore. Misty is upset. She was willing to take the risk of death to prevent Natalie from relapsing. That's a good friend right there. The doorbell rings at Shauna's house. Who could it be? Jeff goes to answer. It's Ty. Note, they act like they haven't seen each other in 20 years. They take a walk, and Ty tells Shauna she's been sleepwalking again because of stress. Biscuit is missing. She must have freaked him out, and he got outside while the door was open. It's Sammy's dog, and he's seen her, the bad one, in the tree at night eating dirt. She's messing her kid up. Ty is afraid of going to sleep. She doesn't know how bad it will get, but Shauna knows how bad it can get. Shauna says Ty should stay with her tonight so she can get some rest. Expedition girls get back to camp out of breath. They explain what happened to Van, and everyone heads out looking for Van and Ty, but it's pitch black outside. Ty sets off another flare, and it's a team effort to get the two of them back to camp. Once back at the cabin, they start an emergency surgery on Van. Akila is stitching up her face while Van is fully awake and screaming. Natalie helps Ty hold her down. Adult Shauna and Ty are having a sleepover at Shauna's house, talking about what their lives could have been if it didn't happen. Shauna was going to go to Brown, have an academic rivals to lovers arc, and then study abroad for a year. Ty was going to Howard, pre-law, with a double major in history and philosophy. First string on the soccer team, first in her class. Then she was going to Columbia Law and getting an internship at one of the biggest firms in the city. Shauna tells her she did all those things, but none of it felt real, Ty says. Adult Natalie is on the phone with the bank trying to get information about Travis's bank account, but they can't tell her anything since she's not family, so she starts crashing out and destroying her motel room. While throwing things around, she finds some coke on the floor. She has relapsed. Misty gets back home and Jessica is holding her bird Caligula hostage. Misty takes in the situation very calmly, not throwing things at her until she lets him go. Misty is crying, and Jessica asks her if she's okay while Misty is literally tightening her handcuffs. She can tell Misty had a rough day. Misty offers to make them both something to eat. In the cabin attic, Teen Ty tells Shauna she let the fire die down. She was sleepwalking and ended up in a tree while she was supposed to be on watch, and that's the reason the wolves got Van. Ty's the reason Van even went on the journey, and she's the reason she got hurt. Ty is scared to go to sleep, so Shauna holds her and offers to stay awake. Adult Shauna tells Ty about her affair. She says Adam is really earnest, which is interesting, and makes her feel something more than just physical. Ty says Simone doesn't make her feel it anymore. The marriage is stable and safe, and that's better, because when Ty feels it isn't good for anybody. The next morning, Shauna shows up at Adam's apartment with coffee. She finally wants to get to know him. He says she mocked his efforts on that front, but now she knows that he was lying about the little that he told her about himself. So she asks him about Pratt. He says it was pretentious. She asks about his classes, his professors, wanting him to tell her literally anything. You caught me, he says. He didn't go to Pratt. His girlfriend at the time went there, and since he was always with her and her friends, it felt like he went there. He told Shauna the lie to impress her. She grills him with questions about his life, and we find out he has an older brother. He promises Pratt was the only thing he lied about. They're real. What they have is real. He wants to go away with her for the weekend, and he'll be an open book. He tells her to go pack a bag and get back here. This feels sincere because if you recall, he's been trying to get to know her this entire time. It was Shauna who wanted to keep things surface level and casual, but now it seems like she's done denying this connection between them. He seems excited for the opportunity to get to know the real Shauna. At the cabin, Laura Lee wakes everyone up very loudly by saying that she has an announcement. Because of the failed expedition, she is going to take the plane and fly south to find help. The gas tank is full, she's read the manuals, her grandpa used to fly planes, and sometimes he'd let her sit on his lap while he was flying. So she's definitely qualified for this. Van needs medical attention, and Jackie, who now knows that Shauna not only lied to her but is also pregnant with her boyfriend's baby because she read the journals, makes Shauna tell everyone that she's pregnant. Both Van and Shauna need help, like professional medical attention. So maybe it's a good idea for Laura-Lee to go? Ben says Laura-Lee can't do this, but she says they'll all fucking starve if she doesn't. He says no, with his authority as the only adult, and she saunters up to him and says, "What are you gonna do to stop me, coach?" There's a power shift here because he can't do anything to stop it, and they all know it. Adult Natalie shows up at Narcotics Anonymous. She finds an old friend who she hasn't seen in 10 years because Natalie assaulted her, but before that she was Natalie's best sponsor, and she works at a bank. Natalie tells her about Travis and explains that it wasn't a suicide. We learn that when Natalie was struggling, Travis made her promise that she would never do that, and he promised her the same. Natalie's a liar, but he always kept his word. So that's how she knows he didn't kill himself. The sponsor thinks Natalie is telling the truth for once. Her name is Suze, and after some blackmailing, she agrees to look into Travis's bank account for Natalie. The girls clean up the plane and clear out a little runway from the plane to the lake. Now, Teen Shauna is mad that Jackie basically told everyone that she was pregnant, but Jackie's playing innocent, saying that they need to get her and the baby help. It's not really the time to be keeping secrets. Adult Ty goes home the next day and finds Simone and Sammy making posters for their missing dog, Biscuit. Ty finally tells Simone about her sleepwalking. It started after the crash, but stopped after they were rescued. With all the recent stress from the campaign, it's been happening again. Ty admits her suspicion that she was the one who let Biscuit out of the house, but Simone is super understanding. They will get her help. Simone wants to fight to keep their family together. Ty gets angry at this and tells Simone and Sammy to stay with Simone's mom for a while. Ty is really afraid she's gonna hurt them. She begs them to go. Shauna is in her closet grabbing a bag to start packing for the trip with Adam when she notices glitter all over the floor. She thinks back to when Adam was hiding in her closet that morning that Jeff came home. She opens the closet safe and it's empty. Something was stolen. She heads to Adam's house, and when she gets there, she opens with, "Who the fuck are you?" The teens are standing around. They're all hugging Laura-Lee goodbye. Jackie tells her to be safe. Laura-Lee gets into the plane, and Ben begs her one last time not to do this. "This is my purpose," she says as she closes the door. It's just her and her teddy bear, Leonard. She turns on the plane. It starts. She starts moving forward past everyone. They're waving and cheering her on. She's going towards the lake and they're running after her. She has the perfect takeoff. She's actually doing this. She's going to save them. She's over the lake and Ben is amazed. There she goes, over the trees, into the sky. She looks down at the bear in her seat. It's on fire. She's coughing. The plane is smoking. On the ground, everyone is still cheering, but Jackie notices the smoke. Then boom, the plane explodes. The debris falls into the water. Lottie collapses into the lake. Everyone is screaming and crying. Travis comforts Jackie. Lottie screams. End episode 8. Why did the plane blow up? Who is Adam? And what has Ty done while sleepwalking that is so bad she thinks she might hurt Simone and Sammy? Episode 9, Doom Coming. Adult Shauna barges into Adam's apartment, asking him for the truth and confronting him about the blackmail. Now, he thinks this is role play, so he's playing along until she gets really serious. Her journals were stolen out of her safe. Her journals? He doesn't know what she's talking about. She ignores him and starts going through his drawers. She's freaking out. How could he even break into her safe? Well, the code is the flight number. Any fanboy could have known it. She pulls open a drawer and finds a Yellowjackets magazine. He's caught. Again. He admits to Googling her. He wanted to understand what she had been through, which does make sense because she wouldn't tell him anything about her or why she missed out on her rebellious teen years when that was like the center of their date activities. Anyway, she grabs the knife out of his kitchen. He swears he did not know about her before the accident, where she hit him. Too bad she doesn't believe him and instead stabs him But it's teen Shauna stabbing him. She pulls the knife out. He falls to the floor, dead. Akilah is digging for worms with teen Shauna. They cook the worms and eat them because there's nothing else to eat. Van is also up and eating, which is really good. Looks like Akilah has a future as a surgeon if they ever get out of here. Jackie, however, doesn't see a point in eating. Everyone's spirits are low after... Oh, I guess I should take Laura off the board. R.I.P. Laura Lee. Gone but never forgotten. Okay, to continue, everyone's spirits are low after Laura Lee's death. Their last hope for rescue died with her. Mari reveals that she unintentionally made booze with berries and she was trying to save it, but there's no point in saving it now that they're all gonna die anyway with winter coming and no food. Jackie thinks they should have a party with the booze since they're all gonna be dead in a few weeks. There's a full moon tomorrow, and it is almost homecoming. Lottie calls it doom coming. And everyone is on board with Jackie's idea to drink rotten berries and celebrate their impending death. At home, adult Shauna locks the murder weapon in her safe. When Jeff comes into the room, she asks if he knows where the glitter came from. He says no, but quickly breaks. I can explain this, he says. Shauna was never supposed to be involved. Jeff's furniture store is getting run out of business and they need money. Jeff was the blackmailer. That's why Shauna never got a text. He thought Ty or Natalie would have cash because Jeff ended up taking out a loan for the furniture store, but they ended up being loan sharks. So with the blackmail money, he was gonna pay them back. No one is gonna die, he says. Too late. R.I.P. Adam. Jeff says they can just forget about this whole thing, but Shauna says they can't forget about it. Something I don't understand is why now, after Adam is dead, she's considering that he was telling the truth about not being the blackmailer. Like is it post-murder clarity? Because she seemed pretty convinced that he was the blackmailer when she put her knife in him. Just one of Shauna's quirks, I guess. Okay, the teens are prepping for doom coming, making masks and headpieces. Misty asks Ben to the dance. She's never been asked, and this could be her only chance, but she apologizes for asking and says she's not pretty. He says to stop, he'd be happy to go to the dance. Keeping within their boundaries, of course. Jackie asks Shauna what they'd be doing right now if the plane hadn't crashed, and Shauna says she tries not to think about it, but Jackie says that's all she thinks about. It's rush week at Rutgers. Jackie is talking about regrets and mistakes she made in the past, but Shauna scoffs at this and says Jackie didn't make mistakes and literally everybody loved her. But Jackie thinks she was naive and decides to not die a virgin. She's gonna do it with Travis. He and Natalie broke up weeks ago, so it should be fine. Then Jackie asks Shauna if she likes him because she never wants them to compete for the same guy. Shauna admits to stabbing and killing Adam, and Jeff is crying. He's really shaken up, but Shauna is super calm despite wrongfully killing her lover. Jeff doesn't know that Adam was her lover though, so he is confused why she was even still in touch with the guy she rear-ended. Shauna deflects, saying she followed Jeff to the hotel where he met up with Bianca. You were having an affair too, she says. No, Bianca is with the loan sharks. That's why they were meeting up. He wasn't having an affair. But Shauna said too. Jeff is heartbroken that Shauna was having an affair. He genuinely loves her. Poor Jeff. I'm gonna play you the following scene that should explain why I love Jeff.
I can't believe you thought I was going to book club this whole time.
What? There's no book club?
Jackie is doing Misty's makeup for the dance when Misty asks for advice about Coach Scott. Jackie tells her that her mom is always on a bunch of downers, but always says if a girl sets her mind to something, she can get whatever she wants from a man. Misty's mom says that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. She finishes Misty's makeup and tells her that she's beautiful. Jackie is so kind because she's taking Misty seriously and genuinely trying to be nice to her when no one else really is. Jeff knows they're not getting away with murder. It won't be hard to track Adam back to Shauna, so he decides decides he's gonna go to the cops and tell them that he's guilty. He'll say he found out about the affair, went to confront his wife's lover, and killed him in the heat of the moment. Jeff is not letting Shauna go down for his stupid shit. Shauna thinks he's being sweet, but if he turns himself in, the blackmail would get out and Callie's life would be over. Shauna asks why the two of them are even staying together and when did they become bad people. Jeff says secrets have always been part of their relationship. Then Jeff suggests Shauna tell the other girls that Adam was the blackmailer. We also learned that Jeff read Shauna's journals years ago. He's sad that Shauna never talked to him about it because he thought she might. This whole time he knew everything and Shauna just killed someone and he still loves her. Jeff is too good. Remember how Misty's mom said the way to a man's heart was through his stomach? Yeah, well, unlucky for Ben, Misty has a binder of medicinal plants in the woods and retrieves her secret stash of shrooms. Back at the cabin, all of the girls are getting ready. Van is off alone, feeling insecure with her face wrapped up. She really doesn't want to go to the party. Ty knows this, so she made them both masks out of something, I don't know what, that they can wear to the dance together. Shauna can't zip up her dress because she's too pregnant, and Misty goes to help her zip up her dress and leaves the mushroom tea she's making for Coach Ben on the table with Mari. Mari puts the mushrooms in the soup that she's making. Misty finds this out, but she can't very well say that she was going to use them to drug Coach Ben, so she doesn't say anything. Jessica is joking around with adult Misty. It seems like she kind of gained some of Misty's trust because she's still chained up, but now she's sitting in a wheelchair and she can roll around a little bit to grab herself food or drinks. Jessica is sharing some of her crazy stories, but she's also prying into Misty's stories. Misty says the year and a half in the wilderness with the girls wasn't so bad because they were all friends. Jessica points out that they have never reached out to Misty once in the 20 to 25 years since. Doom coming begins. They decorated the little area around their campfire and all the girls walk in looking so cute. Ty and Van kiss in front of everyone, so now everyone knows that they're dating and they all cheer and clap. They all eat the soup and drink the booze, and Misty watches, happy with herself. Jackie is the only one who doesn't eat. Lottie wants a moment of silence for Laura Lee, and they all drink to her. Then Lottie starts singing, and then Ty joins in, and then all the girls join in, and they start dancing. Jackie dances with Travis, but he can't stop looking at Natalie. Natalie is not having a good time and asks Coach Ben if he wants to leave with her because she has real booze. And he is so grateful. Jackie and Travis are talking and laughing, and she asks him if he wants to go for a walk. Shauna stares longingly after her as they walk off. Natalie tells Ben that she hasn't really wanted the alcohol that she found, so he drinks it. They talk a little, but then Ben and Natalie start feeling weird, seeing things. He thinks Misty poisoned him again, but Natalie thinks she poisoned all of them. But Natalie also knows they're on shrooms, so they probably can't die. Okay, sorry if the angle's a little different. My SD card filled up. Back at the dance, everyone is giggling and acting super weird. They're spilling wine and hallucinating. Javi says he feels weird. And Misty knows that the shrooms have kicked in, so she goes to find Ben. Lottie feels something. They can all feel energy coming up from the ground. Shauna's baby moved. Then Lottie says something's coming. We won't be hungry much longer. Travis and Jackie sneak into the cabin. The dance is taking place in the woods, not right by the cabin, so nobody is nearby to hear or see them go in. She kisses him, but he stops her and tells her he's in love with Natalie. Jackie says he's sweet, naive, and dumb, and she used to be that way too. She tells him about Shauna and Jeff, and he's sorry, but she says it's okay because she didn't even like Jeff that much. Shauna was right. Jackie tells Travis friendship and love doesn't matter. In the end, everyone dies. The choice is his, and he chooses to kiss her. At the dance, Lottie is acting weird, and she wants to find Jackie and Travis. He doesn't belong to her, she tells the other girls. The girls hear howling animals, and they howl back as they run through the forest. This is what we heard at the very beginning of the show. animalistic howling while Pit Girl was being chased. That's interesting. In the attic, Travis and Jackie are doing it. Afterwards, the shrooms have obviously kicked in for Travis because he thinks they disappeared during sex and aren't really there right now. Jackie's confused by this because, again, she didn't eat the shrooms and so she feels fine, but she hears the howling and tells him to go get dressed. The wild girls stumble in as Travis and Jackie enter the living room. Fully clothed. They're really scary and they're growling and they're aggressive. But Lottie is clearly their leader. Lottie grabs Jackie's dress and forces her to turn around so everyone can see the blood on the back of her dress. Proof that they did it. Then Lottie kisses Travis. Then Shauna kisses Travis. Jackie tries to get them to stop, but Lottie stops her and says it has nothing to do with Natalie. Lottie tells Jackie she doesn't matter anymore and then locks her in the pantry. Okay, trigger warning for this next part. I'll put words on the screen when it's over. The girls all rip off Travis's shirt and take turns kissing him. They essay him and don't listen to him say stop, but he manages to run away. Lottie refers to him as the stag and tells them that they have to catch him. So all the girls run off, chasing after Travis like they're hunting a stag. Javi is hiding outside as everyone runs by him, and Shauna sees him and growls at him to run. Meanwhile, Ben and Natalie have no idea this is going on. They're having a lovely little trip off by themselves. Ben tells Natalie love is everything. It's the whole reason they're alive. She has to go find Travis and tell him how she feels. With this encouragement, she goes to find Travis and proclaim her love. Misty was hiding nearby listening and jumps Ben once he's alone. He pushes her off him and finally admits he loves Paul, his boyfriend, because he's gay. Back at the cabin, Natalie hears Jackie yelling for help and opens the door. The girls are all screaming, chasing Travis with weapons, and he falls. They capture him and bring him back to the dance site where they tie him up. Lottie puts on the Antler Queen headpiece and shoves a pine cone in his mouth. You know what to do. She tells Shauna, who has been bleeding out and butchering all their hunted animals. Shauna walks up to Travis, ready to slit his throat. Lottie encourages her, saying, "It's okay. It wants us to." At the last second, Natalie runs in and stops them. Jackie and Natalie work to get the knife and stop Shauna and Lottie. Natalie knocks her to the ground, but Lottie just laughs at her, and the rest of the girls watch, silent. The adults are at Adam's apartment. Natalie is so mad he's already dead, and Ty asks Shauna if she's even sure that he did it. Shauna shows them the phone that sent all the texts to them, which we know is Jeff's phone, but they don't know that. And Ty asks how he knew about the symbol. Shauna shows them her journals from the wilderness and explains how he must have broken into her safe when he was in her house, stole them, and got the information that way. Ty and Nat are annoyed by this, but Shauna starts crying, saying that he was gonna hurt her and she thought he loved her. Which is crazy because he was never gonna hurt her and he did love her. Natalie thinks Ty and Shauna are hypocrites because they wouldn't let her shoot to injure him, but it's fine that Shauna took things into her own hands and murdered him. Natalie wanted to talk to him and actually get some information. Ty is logically thinking about cleanup. She knows that Shauna will be easily connected to this, and it's Natalie's idea to call Misty. Misty and Jessica are talking about Misty's color analysis. She's also promising Misty a real book deal. Jessica guesses that the girls ate each other, but the public will feel bad for Misty if she's the one to come out with the story first. We learned that none of them got any professional help when they got back. They couldn't betray the team. But Misty thinks that if they can face the truth, they can all begin to heal. The doorbell rings. It's Natalie. She says Misty looks pretty. Natalie apologizes about being upset with her before, but Misty thinks she's making fun of her. Now, Natalie needs Misty to help her, but admits she's been mean and knows that Misty doesn't deserve that because she's been a real friend to her. She says Misty is just really good at things. Again, Natalie knows how to deal with Misty the best out of anyone. Misty's excited to get rid of a body. End episode 9. Episode 10. Sic transit gloria mundi. The girls are passed out in the dirt from their crazy night. Slowly they wake up, and Shauna picks her knife up out of the dirt. Adult Misty has a cover story of picking up Tupperware from her job when really she also picked up gloves, bleach, and bags. 12% of killers are caught buying supplies, and her bleach is the good stuff. We learn that Nat and Misty have a deal. Misty isn't helping them for nothing. Nat promised to go somewhere with her if she helped with this cleanup. Teen Natalie sees Travis outside the cabin and asks if he's alright. He says he's fine, but she's worried about him. They had a knife to his throat. He's downplaying it all, saying he's fine. He's going to look for Javi and he doesn't want help. The adults are ready to clean up a dead body. Ty and Shauna are mad that Natalie brought Misty, but Misty said they should be thanking her. She knows exactly what to do. She orders them to all turn off their phones, get Adam's phone, and destroy the SIM card. The apartment building has no security cameras, so that's good. Shauna's best with the knife, so she's going to cut up the body, and Natalie offers to help her. This is gonna be easy. They're just cleaning up evidence. Shauna and Natalie are wearing surgical outfits, and Adam is lying dead in the bathtub. Natalie asks if Shauna still remembers how to do that, and she starts cutting him up with an electric saw. During this, Natalie is pressing Shauna for some kind of confirmation that Adam killed Travis. But Shauna was with Adam the day that Travis died. Natalie just needs to see his phone. Maybe he was working with someone else. Shauna thinks Natalie is looking for answers that don't exist. They're all fucked in the head from what happened. Shauna knows about the numbness, the paranoia, the darkness of this world. Maybe Travis just couldn't live with that anymore. Maybe Natalie needs to start trying to forgive him. Ty is still worried about the election. Misty voted for her, but she still thinks she's gonna lose. They all wrap up their jobs. Misty is taking some belongings, so it looks like Adam went on a trip. Misty orders Shauna to bury Adam's torso at Huckleberry Park. She tells them you can't tell anything from torsos. You only have to worry about the head and the hands, so Misty's handling that. Earlier in the day, one of the old ladies from Misty's job died. She's at the funeral home and basically puts Adam's head in the casket, so he's getting cremated with the old lady. Outside the cabin, Ben has boiled some drinking water for everyone. He doesn't know what happened last night, but he knows that they were all high on shrooms. Shauna is looking for Jackie, but Jackie has nothing to say to any of them. She says they went insane last night and they're all mad at her for the call out. They finally realized they were on shrooms. Misty says they were only meant for Ben, and it's Mari who stole them to put them in the soup. Lottie says to stop arguing. A bear is walking up to them at the cabin, like a real giant bear. Natalie is gone and she has the gun, so the only weapon they have is Shauna's knife. She gives it to Lottie. Lottie walks up to the bear, unafraid. Instead of attacking, it collapses in front of her, and she stabs it in the head. It dies. The adults go home and get ready for the class reunion. They're all crying because it's been a very stressful day. Jeff got Shauna a new dress and laid it out for her. It's darker, more her. Shauna and Ty arrive at the reunion. This is the most scared they've been all day. Natalie joins them and they walk in together. The stars of the show, all eyes are on them. Misty is already in there and she joins them as well. Our teens are cutting up and cooking the bear meat. Misty offers to help, but they don't trust her around food anymore. Shauna tries to eat the meat raw, but Akilah stops her, telling her it'll make her sick. Ty is in the cabin when Van joins her, and Ty tells her she doesn't think Van is dumb for believing in Lottie's stuff and wearing the bone. Van explains that after the attack, she was in between life and death, not in shock. Something was out there with us, she says. Ty is trying to rationalize this all. So Van believes in what? Neither of them have any clue what's happening out here. Ty is trying to bring her back to reality, talking about her pop culture interests, but it's not really working. Van is clearly upset about this and says if Ty has a problem with her believing in this, to just say it. Ty is scared to lose Van, so it's not a problem. They're okay. Natalie is looking at a school memorial case of Travis and the team. Kevin joins her, and Natalie admits to him that Travis killed himself. At the bar, Randy tries to talk to Shauna, but Randy was also in on the blackmail with Jeff. He didn't actually do anything, but Jeff needed someone to talk about it all with. Shauna says she will gut him like a pig if he ever tells anyone what they did. If they find his body, it won't matter because he will be unrecognizable. At the cabin, they all sit down to eat the meat. All except Natalie, Travis, and Javi. Shauna asks if they should wait for them, but Ben says it's fine. Van asks how Lottie knew the bear was coming, and Jackie says it was just luck. Van thinks they should all give thanks or say grace. Ty says yes they should. She's trying to support Van even though she doesn't actually believe in any of this. Jackie cannot believe this is happening, but Van tells Lottie to lead the prayer. They all join hands to pray except Jackie. Lottie thanks the wilderness for this gift. Lottie thanks the spirit of the bear, the ancient gods of sky and dirt. Everyone repeats their thanks after each statement except Jackie and Ben. Afterwards, Misty snitches to everyone that Jackie didn't give thanks. But Jackie doesn't understand what's happening. Ty tries to defend her, but Jackie doesn't want her help. Ty was part of it too. They all howl at the moon and have orgies, but Jackie's the one in the wrong. She asks Shauna what she was gonna do to Travis last night. And Ben is sitting there shocked because he didn't know that any of this happened. Jackie pushes it, saying Shauna had a knife to his throat. Shauna screams at her to shut up. She stole him, which is ironic because Shauna was sleeping with Jeff. Jackie is so hurt. Her best friend and her boyfriend. Shauna doesn't even like Jeff. How would you know? Shauna yells. Then Shauna explodes. Years of resentment towards Jackie spilling out. Jackie just assumed Shauna wanted to go to college with her. Jackie tells her what to wear, who to hook up with. Shauna doesn't even like soccer. Jackie gets everything she wants, and everyone else are just the extras in the movie of Jackie's life. Did I force you to live in my shadow, Shauna? It must be hard to be this jealous all the time, Jackie says. But Shauna says she isn't jealous of Jackie. She feels sorry for her because she's weak, and now everyone knows how tragic, boring, and insecure she really is. High school was the best her life was ever gonna get. Remember this? And then look at Shauna's life in 2021. Jackie tells Shauna to leave the cabin. She can't even look at her right now. But Shauna won't leave. Maybe Jackie should leave. Mari tells Jackie to leave since they're all so crazy. Coach defends Jackie, saying no one is going to sleep outside, but Lottie tells him to back off. Well, Jackie does leave, and everyone looks really smug and happy about it. Before closing the door, Jackie tells Shauna she doesn't know who she is anymore. And Shauna responds that maybe she never did. Outside, Jackie tries to start a fire. She's struggling, but at least she has a blanket, fully set on sleeping out there. At the reunion, adult Natalie makes a toast to old friends, and they all take a shot. At the reunion, the school has a little memorial for the Yellowjackets. In order to heal, they must first look back. So pictures of all the girls, Travis, Javi, and the coaches play in a slideshow. Shauna and Jeff slow dance with Jackie's photo in the back because her and Jeff were the homecoming king and queen, so Shauna is standing in. Jeff asks her about Adam, but Shauna took care of it. The less he knows, the better. Jessica asks Misty about the reunion when she gets home later that night, and she said it was amazing. Misty wants to let Jessica go so she can get a book deal, but how does she know that once she's free, she won't go right to the police? Jessica says she's a fixer. She cleans up messes for the rich and powerful. She's done a lot of things she can't forget, so she's not rethinking their partnership. Misty unlocks her chains with a smile. Simone calls Ty, who is working on her concession speech. She hasn't officially lost the election, but the results are coming in and they're not looking good. Simone is going to come by the house and get some toys for Sammy while Ty isn't there. Ty says she loves her and Simone doesn't say it back. Misty filled up Jessica's car with gas. How kind. She also threw out her cigarettes, but Jessica begs for them back and Misty pulls them out of the trash. Everything's good. Jessica has to call some contacts at some big lit agencies, and then she'll get in touch with Misty about the details of the book. She gets in her car, lights a cigarette, and starts driving away. Misty waves. As Jessica drives away, her vision starts to get blurry. She can't even control the car. She's about to pass out behind the wheel, so she pulls over onto the curb. She remembers Misty, the fentanyl. Misty put fentanyl in her cigarettes. Her last words before she dies and her head slams on the horn. You fucking bitch. R.I.P. Jessica Roberts. Outside the cabin, Jackie can't get a fire started, so she gives up and goes to sleep without it. Even though everyone else is going to bed, Natalie and Travis are still out there. Natalie hears Travis yelling for Javi nearby. He can't find him. Something happened to him last night. Natalie wants to comfort him and help him, but Travis doesn't want Natalie's help. And she says she knows. Travis breaks down and tells her he's so sorry. He didn't want to do the things that he did last night. I love you, Nat, he says. And they hug. Jeff and Shauna are at home watching the news to see how Ty's election is going. Callie gets home, surprised to see her parents spending time together, but she's happy about it. They convince her to join them. Shauna's making popcorn. The election results are in. It was closer than anyone expected. Jackie is still outside, but she managed to start a little fire with her lighter. Shauna is watching from the attic window, but she won't go talk to her like Ty suggests. Instead, she goes to bed. Now, before the election results, there are some commercials. On the TV that Jeff and Callie are staring at while Shauna's making popcorn, Adam Martin comes on the news. He's a missing man. His family haven't heard from him in days and are asking for any information. Jeff and Callie and Shauna all see this. Callie is visibly scared and uncomfortable. She knows her mom was having an affair with this man and he was in their house and now he's missing. At Ty's house, Simone is getting a suitcase from the basement to pack up Sammy's clothes and toys in. Down there, she feels and hears wind blowing. There's a hidden vent with blood in front of it. She opens it and turns on her phone flashlight. The trail of blood leads in. She crawls in. Unfortunately, instead of watching the election results, Simone is crawling deeper into this vent. It opens into a small room. In it, she finds a table. On it, Sammy's doll, Biscuit's decapitated head and heart, and on the wall, written in blood, the symbol of the wilderness. The results are in, and in an extremely close race, Thaisa Turner won the election. Outside the cabin, Jackie is awake, sitting by her fire, when Shauna comes out and tells her this is stupid and she's really sorry. Come inside, please. They go inside together. Everyone is waiting for her and it's warm and there's a fire. They give her a blanket because she's freezing and Lottie gives her hot chocolate because she's so tired. Jackie apologizes, but Shauna says it's fine. I love you, Jackie, she says. They all love her. You're the best friend I've ever had. Everything is perfect. Even Laura Lee is there. It's not as bad as you thought, is it? She asks Jackie. Jackie starts getting scared and confused. There's a man in the doorway behind the team that we've never seen before. So glad you're joining us. We've been waiting for you, he tells her. Shauna wakes up the next morning after a wonderful night's rest and can see her breath inside the cabin. It's cold up there in the attic. She walks over to the window and looks outside. Snow. So much snow. She runs outside where Jackie is laying there, covered in snow, frozen, blue, dead. Shauna shakes her violently, screaming for Jackie to wake up, but Ty pulls her off. Everyone is shocked. No one thought it was going to snow. In her motel room, adult Natalie is cleaning things up. She sits on the edge of her bed and starts cleaning her shotgun. Then she puts the gun under her chin, closes her eyes, raises her finger to the trigger. Before she can, someone bangs on the door, then breaks it down. Multiple people rush in and grab her. They're all wearing necklaces with the symbol of the wilderness and various shades of purple clothing. They wrestle the gun away from her, then pick her up and rush out of the room, carrying Natalie. Natalie's phone is in the motel room. Someone's calling her, but she can't answer, so they leave a voicemail. It's Suze. Suze sounds scared. She looked into Travis's bank account, and now she thinks she's being followed. Before the message ends, all she says is, Who the fuck is Lottie Matthews? In the wilderness, Lottie walks up to a tree trunk with the bear's heart and places it inside the trunk on the snow. Van and Misty watch from her left and her right. They all kneel. Lottie begins saying something in French. It looks like they're praying to the tree trunk, offering the bear's heart as a sacrifice like religions of old. Her final words as she looks up, "And let the darkness set us free." End season 1. I don't know about you guys, but I still have some questions, like who is Pit Girl, who is Antler Queen, where is the cannibalism, and who the fuck is Lottie Matthews? Did she kill Travis and empty out his bank account? If you made it this far into the video, I hope it was entertaining and informative. This is the first kind of recap video I've ever made, and I will say these pictures are really bad quality. I literally paid to have them printed out, and I thought I saved them all as very high resolution, but they are genuinely so pixelated, it's crazy. If you guys liked this video and I do season 2 or I do another show, I will definitely make it a priority to get higher quality pictures. It's just not really in the budget right now. Please leave a comment down below about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you thought was good, or what you thought could be done better, and if you even want another video like this again. I don't usually watch horror TV shows, but this one is just really good. Season 1 especially is so special because we just don't know anything. And the whole time, at least while I was watching, I was wondering like what is going on? Like, is this like a haunting ghost situation? Is this like a magical spirit situation? Is this a group psychosis situation? Like, what is going on? Like I said, if you guys want me to, I can do season 2, and season 3 is already out, and then it was announced that season 4 is going to be the final season, and that is currently in production. So, I think that's all I have to say. I cannot believe I'm done filming this. Genuinely, these pictures have been up on my wall for 9 months. Also, I think it actually was really obvious who my favorite and my least favorite characters are. So also go ahead and put a guess down below if you think you can tell. And clearly, I'm not that great at keeping my personal bias out of things. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was really fun to make, so I hope it was fun to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!